always punctual. Now, how about some cool beats while I drop the heat?
Ready when you are.
Call legacy. Call legacy.
Nice.
Boom! I'm a musical genius.
Legacy's going to love this for AC season.
What's not to love with no interest and no prince of payments for 1 year?
Are you always like this?
Yep, unlike Legacy, I never know when to cool it.
Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Check out the big spring specials this month at Wolf Chevrolet. Great rebates on the 2026 Silverado 1500s and Colorado pickups. And ask about the truck trade-in bonus of up to $1,500 on select new in-stock 2025 or 2026 Silverado 1500s. Details online or call 780-483-3320.
And when the feeling's down and they agree, there's only one that leads the way. Wolf Chevrolet.
He's a legend in the booth and a master on the mic.
Low Tide brings the banter weekdays from noon to 2.
Sports 1440. It's where Edmonton talks sports. Get in the game. Text 833-401-1440.
Take the pain out of airport parking with Park2Go. Your first-class parking experience. Book self-serve and valet parking and save up to 30%. Book now with promo code RADIO. That's RADIO.
You probably know Stingray for radio advertising.
What about digital advertising?
Yeah, we do that.
Connected TV?
We do that.
Search and social?
And that.
Programmatic? Digital out of home?
We do it all. Endless digital platforms to connect your business to more customers, to intrigue them, engage them, so they choose your product or service. Get started now at stingraymediasolutions.com and let us help your business grow. We are Stingray. That's what we do.
Sports 1440.
Stingray radio station.
CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Have your sports curiosity cured.
Looking at Smart. SBA right around Smart. Sees 3.
Veteran of the sports reporting game
for over 25 years.
2-2. High drive. Deep the right. Get out of here. Upper tank for Leah. Number 8. 7-5. Here come the fish.
Breaking down Edmonton's favorite teams.
Calgary on the flank. Down to the goal line once again. Landeskog. See if he heads back to the bumper. There's a one-timer. McKenna on the power play. The Avalanche strike again. Extend their lead.
This is Sports 1440 and the Kevin Karius Show.
All right, here we go for Sol 660, Wednesday, May the 6th. Hey, it's a McHappy Day. Did you know that? It's McHappy Day, and I'll tell you, there's no one happier than Toronto Maple Leaf fans today after yesterday's draft lottery where they zip into the number 1 slot. Hey, good morning. Welcome to the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440. On your AM radio dial, on your morning drive into work or wherever you're heading out on a Wednesday morning. So glad you could spend some time with us here on Sports 1440 AM. But you can also watch us on YouTube, and that's on Sports 1440 AM. You can drop us a subscription. We're also on X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch. And, of course, we're on the many streaming services on iHeartRadio, the TuneIn app, even sports1440.ca. And if you miss any part of any show, it turns into the many, many podcasts that are out there. Check them out on, what do we got? Apple, Spotify, Google, even Amazon. It's free to subscribe. Select the auto download. You'll never miss a second of the show. And our text line, 833-401-1440. I'm sure Leaf fans will be happy. The many Leaf fans that we have in our fair city and area here in northern Alberta, that they won the draft lottery, moving up 4 big spots to take the number 1 spot away from the likes of the Vancouver Canucks, who were in the number 1 hole, and they dropped 2 spots to number 3. The biggest mover and shaker would have been the San Jose Sharks. They went up 7 spots. So the Leafs have the number 1 selection, moving up 4. San Jose moves all the way up to number 2. Vancouver can only drop so far. And maybe they got to revisit some parts of the format here. But Vancouver drops all the way down to 3. It's thankfully for the Canucks a bit of a deeper draft in the sense where 2, 3, 4, and 5. Some people have certain guys moving around from 2, 3, 4, 5. I think Gavin McKenna is still the consensus number 1 for most pundits, draft pundits, most GMs, most scouts. But after that, there's some moving around where maybe it's not, maybe it's what you need as a team moving forward. But the Leafs, it'll be their first overall selection. They had Wendell Clark way back in 1985. And then, of course, Austin Matthews 10 years ago in 2016, rounding out the top 6. So, again, Chicago will go to 4. The Rangers, 5. And the Calgary Flames drop 2 spots and will go number 6 overall. So, Toronto, San Jose, Vancouver, Chicago, New York, and then Calgary. The Canadian teams, well, joy in one market with the Leafs, but then when you look at 2 others in Vancouver and Calgary dropping down, and again, Vancouver's never drafted number 1 overall. It's just like a curse or something like that. Text 833-401-1440. What do you think of the draft lottery? Do you think there should be a tweak? Maybe some sort of a, like if you have the number 1 slot lottery wise, maybe you can only go down 1 spot or something like that. You can only move up less than like San Jose did this year, or something to the effect of, like, look at the Islanders last year, 9 spots. I mean, hey, this has been going on for a long time. The Oilers won the draft lottery. And I mean, look at how that changed with the franchise. And maybe it's fine the way it is. But right now, if you're in Vancouver, or, for sure Vancouver, you think the draft lottery sucks. And then not only that, you think it's rigged. People texting or tweeting all last night. Yeah, the draft is rigged, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, Jim Rutherford said yesterday that he's going to be stepping down as, he's going to be more of a advisor, alternate board of governor. So he's going to be stepping down in Vancouver from what his role was before. So it is, yes, McHappy Day in Toronto. It's McHappy Day here, too. It's the 32nd annual McHappy Day. And that's at all McDonald's locations, in restaurant, at the drive-thru as well. You can even use the app. But all day, McDonald's is going to donate a portion of proceeds from every menu item to Ronald McDonald House, keeping families with sick and injured children when they need it the most. And we're a big sponsor here at Sports 1440. So check it out at sports1440.ca. BC Oiler. I wonder if he's a Canucks fan too, or a little bit. Obviously an Oiler fan out there. I don't agree with teams being able to move up or down more than 2 spots. It shouldn't be this much of a pure luck thing. Well, it's going down. You're not going further down. That's the other thing. So it's 2. Vancouver lost 2. Calgary lost 2. But when you hit the home run, and I look at San Jose here, man. I mean, San Jose goes up 7 big spots. And you look at where the Sharks finished 4 points back of the Western Conference's second wild card. 4 points back. And now they got the number 2 pick. So if you look at what, how they've won the draft, or won the lottery, pardon me, and, moving up 7 spots this year and where they were last year. So, I mean, they have, what do we got for the 3rd straight draft? They're going to be picking 1 or 2, because they picked Michael Misa at number 2 last year. And then the year prior, they had the number 1 overall pick, and they got Macklin Celebrini. So, I mean, the question is, for Mike Greer in San Jose, what are you looking at? Which direction are you going? Because a lot of people think Ivar Stenberg is even closer to being NHL ready and contributing more than Gavin McKenna. Maybe doesn't have the ceiling, doesn't have the pizzazz of McKenna, but there's a hell of a defenseman out there in Chase Reed. And San Jose, if there's anything that about San Jose's, how they're building their team, it's the back end. They got Sam Dickinson, who's a great defenseman. Now, would you want to maybe take Chase Reed at number 2? Or would you drop down a slot or two? And if someone's not going to take Chase Reed at 2 and you want to get him at, I don't know, 4, something like that. 3, depends on Caleb Maholtra because he's rocketing up the draft charts as well. But if there's an opportunity where a team wants something else, and maybe you can finagle a little bit more draft currency or player currency. But Chase Reed's probably the best fit for the San Jose Sharks with what they're building and what they have already with the players up front. Because, obviously they have, they got Macklin Celebrini, they got Will Smith, they have Willie Eklund, they have Misa. They decided to sign Kiefer Sherwood longer term. Colin Graff is coming off an exceptional year. So 833-401-1440. BC Oilers says he hates the Canucks. Yeah, I was just kind of juicing you, but I always see when the area code comes up, but Johnny's juicing the Leafs. Hey guys, I think that's a fair trade. Mitch Marner for the number 1 pick for John. Oh, that's a tough. Everyone's giving it to the Leafs for sure. Hey, in the NHL last night, just one game. Colorado beats Minnesota by a score of 5-2. So Colorado joins the Hurricanes to start the playoff season at 6-0. That would be the 8th team in the last 26 years to start 6-0. The Wild made a change in goal, and Philip Gustafson started. Didn't really matter, but the Avs, man, were they on Quinn Hughes? They pressured Quinn Hughes. They forechecked him. They hit him. They tugged him. And you know what? He's not a big guy, and you can only take so much. And I mean, he was frustrated. He was flustered, and there's not much you can do when guys that have 30, 40 pounds are bearing down and hammering you. And it wasn't only Hughes. The Avs hammered a lot of other Minnesota guys, none more so than Nathan McKinnon at the very end when he absolutely pumped Matt Boldy. And Boldy, about a few minutes earlier, took that punch to the head. That was from Parker Kelly, and it was embellished, trying to draw a penalty. There was no calls. There were some calls I thought that could have went Minnesota's way yesterday too, that went Colorado's way, but full marks for Colorado. They are a deep, big, heavy team down the middle. There's no team in the NHL that can match Colorado down the middle right now. That is just not even close to being a debate right now. And you talk about depth. Right now, Colorado has more depth and depth scoring than anyone. And this stat is a little tainted because of the 9 goals in game 1, but they've got 12 different goal scorers in the first 2 games, 12 different ones. Hey, 7-Eleven in Edmonton. Let's welcome in the Duke of Delburne on a Wednesday morning. Good morning, Duke.
Morning,
you watch a little hockey, a little basketball, maybe some Jays.
A little bit of everything across the board, the way they were spread out. And starting off with the draft lottery at 5:00 and the drama that led to. So I knew there was going to be another ball or another round of picks or whatever after the first pick. But as soon as the Leafs won, I was just so stunned.
Yeah.
I essentially turned it off and then found out the Sharks won the second pick just via Twitter, where I was enthralled with the scrolling and reading comments from across the landscape of not just the world of hockey, man. This plugged its fingers into sports across North America and beyond, because this makes waves. 10 years since they picked first overall the last time with Austin Matthews. And does this change things for the Maple Leafs in this new direction and a little bit of goodwill after all the heat they've taken the past, handful of days or so anyway, with the John Chaika hiring, the bad press conference, on and on. We talked about it yesterday. It's a total debacle, total circus in Toronto right now. But then you and I both said it's human nature. You got to want to root for the underdog a little bit now, root for a guy like Chaika to maybe prove some people wrong. I wonder if that's completely flipped on its head again now after they get this grace of God luck to strike them. And it really, to me, rings of what happened to the New York Rangers a handful of years ago when they won the lottery to move up. Listen, they moved up quite a few more spots than the Leafs did, and they picked Alexi Lafreniere. But that was right on the heels of the Rangers essentially telling their fan base via like open letter from the GM saying, hey, this is going to be bad for a few years. We're going through it. We're about to totally strip this down to the bones and start over. You win the draft lottery and you think, never mind. Let's just quickly have a fast on the fly retool and try and get back to contention, which they did. Now they're right back at the bottom of the table again. The Rangers are, so maybe that could be a lesson for the Maple Leaf brass to learn from.
The crazy thing when they were doing the second draw, Duke, so the second one. So if the Leafs would have had the number come out again, the 12, they would have had to do a redraw for the second one for the Sharks.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the Leafs were still in there.
Right.
Which that didn't make sense to me. Why would the Leafs still be in there?
Yeah, it's a good point.
So that's what maybe that tilted the fact of how the second draw worked. So that's the one that didn't make sense to me. And that was Butchicross said, if the Leafs ball comes out, it's a redraw.
Mm-hmm.
So they would just draw, I guess, another ball.
Right.
I don't know.
That's interesting.
But it's not a perfect system. Like, again, maybe, and again, everything is about not wanting teams to tank down the stretch. But maybe it's just you can only fall down one spot if you're in the first hole or something like that. Because it's a penalty, man, for teams like Vancouver and for Calgary, for that matter, who, now drafting 6, that's where things get a little murky as far as, the talent in this draft. But we'll see exactly what happens here, when the draft, shakes down in 6-7 weeks. But I think McKenna is still the number one choice, and I can't see a team trading. I can't see any team, and whoever it would have been, trading the number one pick away this year. So to me, the draft board changes right after that, because some guys have Stenberg as high as 2. Some guys have him a little further down, only because of maybe a team need, as I said, for San Jose, and a guy like Chase Reed, maybe he's a better fit for the Sharks. NBA last night, Detroit over Cleveland 111-101, 1-0 series lead, and OKC. SGA really didn't do a hell of a lot, but OKC beats the hapless Lakers 108-90. The Jays lost to the Rays 4-3. They were up 3-2, give up a couple of late runs. Their record is 16-20 right now. That's the exact same record as it was last year before they went on a bit of a run. Hey, coming up on the big program, we're going to bust down this draft, but we're also going to look at it in the sense of where we are at with team needs, and who better to do that with than Steven Ellis from the Daily Faceoff, because he's got all the rankings ready to go right now. Mark Spector will be with us at 8 o'clock. Good to have Cordell Jackson, Edmonton Elks defensive back. Well, he played almost every position, it seemed, except for defensive line last year. But training camp for the Elks gets underway this Sunday. So Cordell Jackson will be with us at 8:20. We got David Schlimco, the former NHLer, co-hosting at 9. Randeep Janda, Vancouver Canucks analyst, will be with us at 9:20. What's the feeling out in Vancouver again? And then 2 games in the NHL tonight. Finally, Montreal and Buffalo get going. So Stu Cowan from the Montreal Gazette and the Hockey Inside Out, covering the Montreal Canadiens, will check in at 10:20 to tee up the Montreal-Buffalo game. Also, game number 2 between Anaheim and Vegas tonight. When we come back, Steven Ellis from the Daily Faceoff will bust down who he thinks is going to be going top 6 in the NHL draft. Who's slotted where? That's straight ahead on the Kevin Carey Show with the Duke of Delburne. Josh Fenwick on Sports 1440 AM Radio. We're streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
Looking for a solid 4x4 that checks all the boxes? The 2026 Jeep Compass is in stock now at St. Albert Dodge, and this is a great value, starting from just $36,900. It's a Jeep, so you've got 4x4 capability, plus features like an 8.4-inch touchscreen, Apple CarPlay, active lane management, a Park View rear backup camera, and more. Over 30 in stock right now in just about every color you'd want. Head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Who's that working on the underground utilities over there? All-Star Construction, that's who. What about the street lighting? Yep, All-Star Construction. And the directional drilling, hydrovacking, neighborhood renewal, and telecommunication work? Yep, and yep. Since 2009, All Star Construction has been doing all that and more, shaping and building Edmonton communities for land developers all around Edmonton. That's what All Star Construction is all about.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
Build stamina and relieve fatigue with new Roots Herbals Energy, a well-balanced formula with D-ribose, astragalus, and ginseng. Find it at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of every month.
The longest running basketball show in Canada airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk, and it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
Heard of Uline? You know, the have-it-all in-stock, ready-to-deliver shipping and industrial supply specialists. The company that does things for you that are unheard of, like keeping 41,000 items in stock in our own warehouses. With customer service reps on the line to get you what you need when you need it 24/7, 365 every time. Maybe you heard it here first. Want to hear more? Visit uline.ca. ULINE, your shipping and industrial supply specialists.
Hey, Gary, is that your dad?
No, this is Evan, the new sales rep I hired.
Oh.
First impressions matter, but when hair loss takes over, it can feel like you're not being seen for the maverick you truly are. Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. At Advanced Hair and Skin Surgery, we know that hair loss is more than just a cosmetic issue. It's personal. Let's discuss all the cutting-edge options available so you can make a great impression every time.
Book a free consultation today at drvanceelliott.com.
Have your sports curiosity cured with the Kevin Karius Show. This is Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program, 7:20 in Edmonton, and time now for the Puck Report, brought to you by Fountain Tire. And at Fountain Tire, we can meet all your car needs and more with our digital vehicle report. We just don't tell you what your car needs, we show you. Book your appointment at fountaintire.com today as we welcome back Steven Ellis from the Daily Faceoff. Good morning, Steven. You're with Kevin Karius. Thanks for jumping on Sports 1440 this morning. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Well, what a night, eh? What a night with the Toronto Maple Leafs, as you know, winning the draft lottery, which now starts to set the wheels in motion. I would imagine Leaf fans are absolutely ecstatic, Steven.
Yeah, you know, I was in Toronto yesterday when this news happened, and yeah, it was at a hockey arena. I was thinking, okay, someone's gonna get word that McKenna could be going to the Toronto Maple Leafs and number 1 overall, and nobody seemed to care too much, but from people I know that were downtown, they were thrilled. And you know, like, you think about it, 10 years ago in Buffalo, Toronto picked Austin Matthews, and that was a franchise-changing moment. Yeah, sure, they haven't actually had the playoff success they probably thought they would have at this point. Does McKenna change that if that's who they pick? I think that's the question everyone's going to be wondering, but I know there's going to be so much interest. There's going to be a lot of people going over the border to see the draft in person when given it's Toronto at that first overall. And, you know, I think people also are commenting online. It's like, oh, is this rigged? Is this rigged? I feel like we see that no matter who gets the first overall pick, but I think that's actually just given the way the John Chayka era started on Monday to then get the first overall pick the next day, I think is honestly one of the funniest ways that era could start in Toronto.
How would you describe, I guess, the 48 hours in Toronto then?
Wild. You know, you when you hear the Chayka announcement, I think it was not a popular announcement in Toronto. You know, does going out there and then getting the first overall pick make it a lot easier for Chayka? Yes. Could that hide any flaws in his management style? Potentially, but overall, like, there's still a long way to go. This is a team that was near the bottom of the standings this year that looked terrible and have one of the worst prospect pools. Like, this is something where They don't have a lot of cap space to work with. What are they going to do with Morgan Riley? Like, there's so many questions here where it's going to be a tough road forward still for Leafs, even if they end up getting McKenna with that first pick. But it definitely is just, again, it's funny, just the fan sentiment. Everyone was just not thrilled with the announcement. They were not thrilled with Keith Pelly's press conference. And then all of a sudden you get the first overall pick. Everyone's like, you know what? We kind of don't care anymore. It's just time to celebrate for a little bit.
It's in that 24-hour news cycle. That's where it goes, right, Steven?
It is kind of funny that the Toronto Raptors were trying their best to go out there and win Game 7, but the focus somehow still managed to be on the Toronto Maple Leafs in this.
Yeah. And again, I didn't understand why they sort of leaked that out on the the game day of the Raptors. It made no sense for MLSE, but whatever. Steven Ellis with us from Daily Faceoff. So they got the number 1 pick now. They don't do anything stupid here and trade it away or not take Gavin McKenna, do they?
I there's an argument that maybe they could use that pick, but realistically what this team needs is a defenseman. But if you're picking first overall, you're not picking a defenseman. I know there are some scouts I've talked to that think there is an argument that Chase Reed could go first overall, but I don't know if a lot of teams view him as a number 1 defenseman. So if you're not getting him as a number 1 defenseman, that's not going to fish your blue line in a way that means you want to pass off McKenna. And I think with Ivor Stenberg out of Sweden, at one point it looked like he was going to break records for one of the most productive seasons by a U19 player in Swedish Hockey League history. And that's one of the top leagues in the world. That's unbelievable to see that. Now, he did kind of fall off a little bit post World Juniors, but you look at his play at the first half, you look at his play at the World Juniors, to think that he can maybe sustain a 45-point pace the whole year, which is a very hard number for any player to do in that league, was probably asking a lot out of a guy his age, but he was still one of the most impressive young players. He's actually in the running for Rookie of the Year. He's got that pro experience, and I know that's going to mean a lot to the Leafs as they're making the discussions about who to pick. But are you going to give up a player that has the hockey sense and the playmaking abilities of someone like a Nikita Kucherov or a Patrick Kane? I think that's when it gets a bit more difficult, and that's why I think they are going to pick Gavin McKenna at number 1.
So, Steven, in your opinion, is Ivar Stenberg more NHL ready earlier than McKenna and maybe can contribute at a higher level than McKenna, but you would say McKenna's ceiling is higher?
Yeah, I think that's probably accurate. You can make an argument that even the most NHL ready player in the draft is more like Albert Smits, but then his ceiling is not as high because I don't think he's going to be a high-end defensive producer in the NHL, like we saw kind of at one point with his numbers looking really good in Finland. But I think when you look at what Stenberg does, he's kind of a jack of all trades. He's not elite in any specific category, but he's a more well-rounded player than McKenna. I think the thing is what Toronto probably needs a bit more is a guy to be that playmaker to set up Austin Matthews, especially after they lost Mitch Marner. That being said, you don't typically want to just draft for need because your needs could change. This is a different Toronto Maple Leafs team than 2 years ago. So you need to go out there and draft the best player available that will set you up for the long term. And I do feel like McKenna is the type of guy that can put up 25 goals, maybe not a huge number there, but might put up 75 or 80 assists. And that's where people are going to be looking at it and say, okay, that's where the value is. He's a great playmaker, but he's also going to just have the puck so much of every single shift. He's a very good skater. He's very elusive. He's very smart, and he's going to make it very difficult for the opponents to get the puck off him. I know he's not that big, but he's taller than Kucherov. He's taller than Patrick Kane, the two comparables, and he's a few pounds lighter. I feel like if he spends the summer focusing on bulking up, that's where things are going to be better. And also I'll point out, you look at a guy like Connor Bedard going to the NHL, and he kind of had just Nick Foligno and Tyler Bertuzzi and these other guys to play with, just not these star players. McKenna's going to have either John Tavares or Austin Matthews as his center right away. I think it's easier for a winger to adjust to the NHL because they don't have to take on that as much of those two-way responsibilities. And I think that's also going to really excite people when he gets picked again, probably first overall.
Steven Ellis with us on the Kevin Carey Show from the Daily Faceoff. So as wild and nutso as it was for the Leafs to move up 4 spots, maybe equally as wild and nutso for the San Jose Sharks to move up 7 spots. Now, I talked about this off the top of the show here, Steven, and I mean with the talent that they have up front with the likes of Celebrini and Smith and Misa and Eklund. They signed Sherwood, and they got Colin Graff, who had a great year. Is the play not for them, a defenseman? And would they maybe pass on a Stenberg and go after a Chase Reed?
I think they're still going to go best player available, and that's where things get really interesting. Because again, do they see Chase Reed as a number one defenseman? Is there concern that because the OHL was not as strong this year, that maybe he kind of feasted on a league that he just looked a bit better defensively because the defense overall was just not as strong as we've typically seen in the OHL? That's a question there. There's no super high-end trait of his game, but he's good at so many different things. So then are you passing up a guy like Stenberg, where if you draft him, like it makes someone like Victor Eklund makes him William Eklund makes someone like him a bit more expendable? And do you take that chance saying, this is a guy that could actually complement our stars in a big way in that top six? I think that's something that's going to be discussed to the very end. I did have Stenberg going number 2 to them in my mock draft, but that's just because, first off, Mike Greer is always going to say we're going to take the best player available. Regardless of positional need. I think talking to scouts, a lot of scouts still think Stenberg could be the first player off the board. There are some people who see him as the best player, and that while there's a lot of good defensemen this year, none of them are going to be the franchise changing guy. It also really depends on what San Jose thinks of someone like Sam Dickinson. Do they think he could be the guy? And then maybe Chase Reed's not as important. So I think it's going to really come down to the wire. That's where the draft really gets interesting at number 2. Because there's a good argument for a lot of different players. I don't think they would take Caleb Malhotra. Is Keaton Verhoff the answer there? I think there's also a good argument that he's got the most runway of any defenseman. He's got some of the most upside. So it's definitely interesting. To me, it's Stenberg or Chase Reed. That's who they're going to. And if I'm picking right now based off of best player available, I'm going Ivor Stenberg.
Mm-hmm. Was Caleb Malhotra from the start of the year to where they are still, in the OHL playoffs, was he the guy that shot up your list the most here?
Yeah, him and Wyatt Collins, the two guys of NHL bloodlines. But with Malhotra, he was playing in the BCHL last year, and he was good. Nothing special, but I remember watching him play AAA hockey and thinking, this guy's got a good future. And then BCHL, you put up solid numbers. But it was almost like, given that Brantford was going all in this year and we knew they'd be very busy at the trade deadline, it felt like maybe Caleb Malhotra's opportunities were going to be limited, because playing on a good team when you're young is awesome. And doing that in the draft year and learning from those great players, that could be huge. But that also often means that draft eligible players get pushed down the lineup and don't play as big roles. But he played so well from the get-go that they basically just had no other option but to play him as many minutes as possible. And we saw him in the playoffs, and he was able to just rise up boards. And I don't know if a ton of scouts feel he's a number 1 center, but if he's a number 2 center, that's a really good number 2 center that a team's going to be able to get there. And whether it's Vancouver, whether it's I don't think Chicago takes him. I don't think San Jose takes him, but maybe, if he falls to 5, the Rangers would love him. The Flames would love him. Seattle would love him. There's a lot of good opportunities there where he'd be a perfect fit for those teams. And I will shout out Wyatt Cullen. He was 5'8" in his draft year, or the draft -1 year last year. Then he missed the first 2 months of the season this year. And then he just couldn't stop scoring. He was the most productive player on a point-per-game basis with the U.S. National Team Development Program. He was one of the best players at the U18s, despite the Americans getting knocked out in the quarterfinals. There's a legitimate case for him to go in the top 10. Mm-hmm. And this is a guy that NHL Central Scouting had projected as a 4th or 5th round pick at the start of the year. So, those are the two guys I'm looking at and saying, massive improvement, a massive seasons, and you love to see that. That's what makes the draft year fun, right? Just seeing kind of how guys develop in a year, because a lot of physical and mental development happens this year specifically.
The other Canadian team besides the Canucks that sort of gets screwed here, Vancouver dropping a 3, Calgary to 6. Is it pretty well a given that where Calgary's situated in, and when you look at, the top players that will be available at 6, is it going to be a defenseman in Calgary?
I think so. I think Carson Karls is a really good fit there. I think Viggo Bjork, some scouts could see him going in the top 5. Others are do you really want an undersized center playing a big role for your team? And is he going to be as valuable if he gets pushed down the lineup? That's where the questions come in. I think Carson Karls is just like criminally underrated. I think when you look at it and you see, Keaton Verhoff, the size mobility that he's got there, Chase Reed, kind of the same situation there, and Carson Karls almost feels a bit small at 6'2" on 194 pounds. But I think that's partly because his play style is not a very physical game. He won't go out there and just knock guys down, while some of the other guys are a bit more physically dominant. But Carson Karls comes from a farm family. Like during the off season, he spends it working with his family's cattle, like 500 to 1,000, somewhere in the number there. Like this is a dude who's a farm kid.
Exactly.
No farm kids there. So strong, but they also have great work ethics. And then, oh, by the way, he also put up like close to 30 goals and over 70 points. So you go out there and play a huge role on a good team like Prince George. I think that's something that just got underrated by a lot of fans this year. And I think part of it is, the perceived notion that the three CHL leagues are just not as strong as they used to be. And you know what? I think this was a good opportunity for a guy like him to go out there and be a very big impact guy and get the spotlight. But that is who I would pick at number 6. If Keaton Verhoff's on the board still, I think that's a no-brainer. I think you can never go wrong with a right-handed defenseman who's got size. I think teams are looking for that. And so I think Calgary probably feels like they're going to be taking a defense. But if they were picking up 4, I think they'd take Caleb Mahaltra. If picking at 6, I think they're taking a defenseman.
A guy that I've kind of watched a little bit here is Daxon Rudolph. Depending on what happens, I mean, they got a really tough opponent here in the Western Hockey League final, the Prince Albert Raiders. How high can he move up in this draft?
I think we're definitely talking about a guy who's in that top 10 conversation. I think part of it is you look at some guys that are maybe just a bit better defensively, a bit higher than him. But I think watching Rudolph, like, I swear I talk about Daxon Rudolph more than any other draft prospect. And it's because just every time you watch him in Prince Albert, he's doing something with the puck. He's good on the power play. He's got everything you're kind of looking for in a puck moving defenseman. He's got a great shot, great breakout passes, definitely a top 4 threat. So I think you're still looking for a guy to maybe add a bit more aggressiveness defensively, not necessarily going out knocking guys, but going out there and being a little less passive and going out there and challenging guys and taking that space away. If you can do that, we're talking about someone who's going to continue to move up boards. He's another one of those players that I feel like has been underrated because a lot of guys haven't put him in that same conversation as a Karls, as a Reed, as a Verhoff or a Smits, but he's definitely should be in that top 10 conversation.
He's a big guy. He's well over point a game guy and had 28 goals this year. He's got 9 in the playoffs so far in 15 games. So I really looking forward to watching this Western Hockey League final. A couple more quick ones for you, if you don't mind, Steven. Did the under-18 World Championship change anything, really sway a lot one way or the other as far as your rankings go?
I think the one name to keep an eye on is going to be Mathis Preston, the Vancouver Giants forward, a guy that at one point in the year felt pretty safe to be a top 10 prospect, but then his numbers just felt underwhelming. And, he played on teams that were not overly deep, but I think the conversation around him was that he's got a lot of skill and plays weren't happening. The results just weren't happening. And it felt like just a guy that had proven multiple times, especially with Canada internationally, that he could take over shifts. He just wasn't doing that. But then watching him at the U18s, he had some time to rest, having not been in the playoffs and going out there. And it feels like he played at just another level that we just hadn't seen in a while. I really thought he looked like one of the smarter players out there. Also got to give a shout out to Adam Valentini, University of Michigan. A lot of people criticized his decision to go to college this year. And, the way he did it, maybe not overly popular, which was like a day or two before training camp. He decommitted from the Kitchener Rangers to go to college, but he fast-tracked that, and it felt like that was probably the best thing for his development in the long run. He got a little stronger. He learned how to make quicker decisions, and then he was very good at that tournament. So those are two guys that I think really that were higher up in draft rankings that kind of pushed themselves back into at least a little earlier in the first round conversation again.
And one last one. Sam O'Reilly, former Edmonton Oilers draft pick, is named the OHL Most Outstanding Player yesterday. So we know what the trade was here. So Isaac Howard, Hobey Baker winner, as you know, for Sam O'Reilly. Now, it's an interesting trade because they're born on the same day, 2 years difference in age. So Ike Howard's 22, Sam O'Reilly's 20, but this is going to be his 4th consecutive OHL final. He's captain. He's won 2 championships. Next year is a massive year for Ike Howard. If you're looking at this trade and you see where Wynn and how it was made, and you see where O'Reilly is now, and you see where Howard is now, bust down this trade if you can from an Oilers perspective here, Steven.
I would be a bit more nervous if I was an Oilers fan than I would be at the same time the trade was made. And I think part of it was when you look at Howard, you're getting a guy that in theory should have been closer to full-time NHL duty. And it's not crazy to think that these two guys could be full-time NHLers at the exact same time. And then at that point, you're like, oh, okay, let's see how that goes. Now, I'd say Howard still has more offensive potential. In my personal opinion, Sam O'Reilly would have not been my pick for the award. You know, you're
Right.
looking at, someone like Jake O'Brien, the season he's had, just outstanding this year, 93 points in 53 games, really big part of that Brantford Bulldogs team. And had he stayed healthy the whole year, probably would have been the only 100-point guy in the league. That being said, Sam O'Reilly is going to be very good analytically. He's going to be someone that just controls the puck so often. He's very difficult to take the puck off of and makes a lot of smart decisions, good two-way guy. I still think the offensive ceiling is higher for Howard, but we got to see him perform at a consistent pace in the NHL. And there were so many times we saw him kind of in the NHL this year. And it's like, I was worried a little bit because it's so hard for a player to, like, the results when you look all time of guys who win the Hobey Baker in their third or fourth year, most of those guys don't become impact NHL players. And that's partly because the guys winning the Hobey Baker as these standout college players are doing it their first 2 years and then going and turning pro right away. Yeah. I think that's one where you're still looking at Howard like, okay, like there's still a lot of runway here, but you kind of need to see a huge season here. So yeah, time's ticking a bit, but I still feel like Howard's got more offensive potential.
Yeah, next year's a big year for him. What have you thought of the playoff by O'Reilly? He's a goal a game guy.
Yeah, it's been really good to see that there. He's watching Kitchener and just everything they've been able to do in these playoffs, like truly amazing. I feel like his numbers were kind of muted a little bit because London was not this high-flying offensive team this year. Like, he had a point per game, and then he was much more productive when he went to Kitchener, but he's been a big part. And, going from London, leaving London, that's a great fan base, a great atmosphere, but then going to Kitchener, it's like one of the best in the CHL. I love Kitchener. I love the old building. It's very easy for players to get amped up, and then you see them in the playoffs, especially just going out there beating the Bulldogs, the team that everyone expected to just go out, to get to the OHL final, expected to play the Bulldogs, and then the Bulldogs end up losing to Barrie. I think that's one where, okay, and now you're looking at Kitchener being the favorite here and Sam O'Reilly being as good as he has been. I think that's something where you got to love what he's been doing. He's just so productive, so skilled, and he's having a good run right now. He's playing with a ton of confidence. And again, playing in Kitchener makes it easy to do that.
Incredible insight, Steven. Are you going to have one more draft ranking by the time the draft comes around, or what are we looking at?
I believe I'm going to have two more. We're starting, I think it's May 26th. I'll have at least one draft article every single day leading up to the draft. I'll be there in Buffalo. I'll be at the draft combine. A lot of exciting things that are going on. And I'll be at the Montreal-Buffalo series coming up. So that's going to be a lot of fun too.
Outstanding. Well, you're in a perfect spot, perfect locale for the next few weeks and then the draft. As always, Steven, thanks so much for your time and incredible work. Incredible work. Thanks, man.
Thanks so much.
That's Steven Ellis from the Daily Faceoff. Check his article out. It came out last night just because when the draft lottery came out, he started to pencil in guys to where he feels that they might be going. It's different than some other pundits as far as, some people have. Again, they've got a guy like Reed going to 2 to San Jose, but Stenberg is probably, and he mentioned Smiths there, but Stenberg is, to me, the closest to being NHL ready and contributing right off the hop here. But I mean, I loved him breaking down the Sam O'Reilly and Ike Howard trade, because here we are, a couple of years later, in the sense of how it happened and where exactly the two players were. They're born on the exact same day, 2 years apart. O'Reilly's 20, Howard's 22. And we'll see what happens in Kitchener's quest for another OHL. Well, not another OHL title for Sam O'Reilly, because he won a couple with the London Knights. That was the Puck Report, brought to you by Fountain Tire. And we care about one thing. It's your vehicle. Book your appointment at fountaintire.com today. When we come back, we'll get to some of your texts at 833-401-1440. It's the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440 AM radio. We're streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
60 years ago, we started selling trucks as Western GMC Buick. Today, we are Wolf GMC Buick. We're still located on the corner of 184th Street and Stony Plain Road with the same ownership for over 2 decades. Our customers have trusted our family-owned, community-driven business. And for that, we are thankful. If you're looking for a truck or SUV, pop in and one of our seasoned professionals will get you a great deal, hassle-free. Come trust our team at Wolf GMC Buick. Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
Divorce is never easy, but Fairway Divorce Solutions can help.
Their clear step-by-step process addressed all our issues, and we moved through the process quickly.
Fairway didn't take sides. They saved us money and heartache.
My ex, the kids, and I feel like we'll all be okay.
At Fairway Divorce Solutions, trained mediators and in-house lawyers will move your divorce process forward in a professional and efficient manner to achieve a fair resolution and separation agreement. Visit fairwaydivorce.com.
With Mortgages to Go, you'll be good to go. MortgagesToGo.ca says yes when the banks say no. That's why Alberta has trusted Mortgages to Go for over 23 years. If you need cash and have equity in your home, you're approved instantly, guaranteed. Call 1-888-888-5998. That's 1-888-888-5998. With Mortgages to Go, you'll say, I'm good to go.
Everything is going to be okay. Any business, regardless of size, can stumble occasionally. I'm Dan McDicken, a licensed insolvency trustee with Faber. If your business is facing financial challenges, our team of chartered insolvency and restructuring professionals have corporate debt recovery solutions that work. Schedule your free Faber Focus session at faber.ca today. Chances of a positive outcome increase if you engage Faber sooner rather than later.
McValue meals are here. Get the McDs you love for $5 plus tax every day with your choice of a McDouble, junior chicken, or chicken snack wrap with small fries and small fountain drink. All for just $5 plus taxes. Canadian restaurants. Product availability varies. Prices exclude delivery.
The longest running basketball show in Canada airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk, and it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
There's nothing like a spring sunset by the lake. Oh, wait, that's a pothole. And that was a new truck. Oh, what the Springtime in Edmonton also means project time with help from Metal Supermarkets. Huge inventory cut to your precise requirements, plus metal bending, drilling, punching, notching, plasma cutting, welding, even delivery. Metal Supermarkets, the convenience stores for Southside, West End, metalsupermarkets.com.
O'Hanlon Paving is looking for finished skid steer operators, finished grader operators, Class 1 drivers, and more to join their Edmonton road crew team. Bring your positive attitude and great work ethic to their job fair, Friday, May 8th from 10 till 3. Visit o'hanlonpaving.com/careers.
Sports 1440.
All sports,
all day.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Thanks for listening to Edmonton's sports leader.
All right, welcome back to the big program. 7:47 in Edmonton. Kevin Karius, Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick with you here on Sports 1440 AM radio. Talked about it off the top. McHappy Day today. Fellas, if you're going down to Rotten Ronnie's, what are you picking up on McHappy Day?
Great question. Listen, look at me, Kevin. I'll eat anything. We've talked about this plenty.
Okay, you can only get one item.
I don't know if there's a single thing on the menu I don't like. Well,
one item.
Daily today, I might treat myself just to a McFlurry.
Oh, really?
Get the ice cream. It's beautiful today. Great day for the debut of the Tropicana Orangemen slow pitch team. Tropics go summer. Aren't you excited to hear?
It's going to be 19 tonight for your game. What time's your game?
7:30. 7 o'clock, 7:31. 2 camera.
How's your hand? Are you going to be okay?
I'm sure I'll manage.
Finger?
I'm sure I'll manage. I shouldn't expect to have to throw the ball very much when I'm out just catching everything in center field. You can take your time getting the ball back in. Don't need to really overexert yourself. But if I'm getting something to eat down at Mickey D's, tough to beat the Big Mac. But I actually think I think the Junior Chicken is my number one. That's perfect size. Maybe get a couple of them if you're feeling extra hungry.
Okay, well, I said you could have one thing. Now you've had it.
I'm weighing out some options, but I'm saying if I'm getting one thing to eat, it's a Junior Chicken.
Josh Fenwick, he's brought in twice this year, I believe, so far in this last 6 weeks, some breakfast sandwiches for Eddie Steele.
Yeah, at least twice.
Yeah.
I think maybe more than that.
Oh, what a trooper. Yeah, what a guy. Unbelievable.
But you're underselling me. Whatever. Not a big deal.
Okay. So one item, you can have one item.
I'm rolling with the Duke on this one in his first selection of ice cream because it's going to be 20 today. Might hit the links.
The McFlurry.
No, an ice cream cone, Kevin.
No cone?
Oh yeah.
Chocolate dipped? Or
I
think do that there?
I think we're just going raw on this one.
Really? Come on, it's a vanilla soft serve ice cream. Get a McFlurry with some Oreo cookies in it or something.
Hey, that sounds lovely, but you know what? Sometimes it's nice to just go simple.
No.
I can eat it while I drive.
I'm sure you can. Text 833-401-1440. Eddie Steele just texted, and so are we good to go for Friday golf? Well, what kind of question is that? Like, do you think it would get canceled, Eddie? Wake up, Eddie.
Yeah, sorry, Eddie. Actually, yeah, Eddie, it is canceled. Don't bother showing up.
Joe Daddy texts in and says, hey, KK, did you see the bizarre press conference with the Barrie Colts coach? And Duke responded, yes, we talked about it yesterday. And actually what happened last night or yesterday after our show, Dylan Smoskovitz is the head coach there, and the co-captain was Keyshawn Aitchison, who's New York Islanders draft pick. Real thick guy who likes to hit hard. Anyway, Smoskovitz said, man, that was a dumb thing that I did. He's taken full responsibility. He said he regretted his actions and it's not going to happen again. And he took full ownership on this. So good on him. It's a coach that's, the younger coach, and, they were probably caught up in the heat of everything, Duke, and, beating the Brantford and, the whole bit, but it just wasn't handled well. But full marks. You got to give the guy credit for coming back and saying, you know what, that was wrong. I didn't handle it properly. I think when they originally thought how it was going to shake down, it was like, this could be fun. It could be a few yucks. It didn't work out that way. But good on him for, basically reversing of what they did and how he did it, what he did. So, our buddy Corey, I forgot because he said yesterday morning, guys, it's the Sherwood Park Men's League slow pitch opening day. The Goats open up another season up against the Giant Orphans, and the Goats started yesterday 2-0 in the Sherwood Park Men's League. So they're the Goats. I'd like to play this Giant Orphans team, Duke. Sounds like, there could be a couple of big dudes on there that, obviously, what are we looking at? Like a little, they've been orphaned for a while, I guess, or something. I don't know. The Giant Orphans. It's a hell of a name.
I was getting in a real good conversation with our buddy SKS yesterday out at the bar post show, because Sean has been quite the competitive slow pitch player himself in his day. And as a matter of fact, he's doing me a big favor because the Tropics, since this is our first year.
Who is it? Who?
Sean.
Sean who?
It's Sean the man Smith.
SKS?
True.
Come on now. We've seen him. You've seen him on the ice. The guy. Come on.
I'm not gonna dog Sean this morning because, like as I was saying, he's doing the Tropics a big favor here. We don't have any bats. In all the years I've played baseball, I've never actually owned a bat. I always just mooch off of the other people that bring them, and they're the ones that over the time. And I haven't played in a league for many years, so I was gonna go buy one today, and Sean's like, "No, don't bother." He's like, "I've got lots. I'll bring you in. You can take a couple."
What are you guys playing with wiffle balls too?
No, come on, Kev. This is the real deal.
That's terrible.
Kevin, have you ever heard of 16-inch softball?
No.
It's quite popular, I think, in the Midwest of the United States. You don't play, so it's a bigger ball, and it's obviously quite soft. You don't play with a glove. And it's everything else is the same rules-wise and whatnot. So it's almost like a combination of like wiffle ball, baseball, and slow pitch.
Yeah. I'm with Delta Valley Jeff here. I'm not sure the words competitive and slow pitch belong in the same sentence, dude.
Yeah. Hey, I'm right there with you. I am. And this is part of the discussion that Sean and I were having, talking about these full men's league. And like I went and subbed for a guy's team many years ago up at those really nice diamonds in St. Albert, under the lights. And it's all guys. It's super competitive. People take it real serious. And I'm just kind of thinking, I thought the whole point of slow pitch was to come, it's casual. You can try and win. Like you can be competitive, but it's still loose and casual and, have a few pops, enjoy the weather. That's what slow pitch is to me. And more importantly, like the whole part of it is needing to find girls and women that are good so your team's still competitive. You can't just have some bumps on a log out there of either gender, of course, but.
Hammer's texting in, what if San Jose traded Misa to Calgary for the 6th and then drafted a D-man? Would you make a trade like that? That would be just a straight, and Calgary's not making the trade, though, I don't think, Hammer. They're not trading away their 6th because... I'm
not sure either team does.
Yeah.
Because, what do we know about, like, NHL teams, they want to build down the middle. And we know that the top of this draft is pretty light on difference-making centers. It seems like Malhotra is the centerman that's going to go in the top 5, maybe even top 10. So the Sharks, you have your franchise guy in Celebrini, but after that, like, Misa's lines up as your number 2 for the next 15 years.
Forever.
If let's just say the Sharks were to do something and maybe would need to get a little bit more complicated of a trade, but one of their wingers that they've acquired, and the kind of name that sticks out is maybe a guy like William Eklund, because I don't think you're interested in moving on from Will Smith at this point when you've seen his chemistry with Celebrini. So I just don't see it happening. No. I understand the thought process about, I just think that's more likely the Sharks say, if we really want a defenseman that bad, we'll just take one at number 2.
Yeah. Hammer says, is Stenberg a C? No, he's not. So again, the top rated centerman in this draft is Caleb Malhotra. Coming up at the top of the hour, we've got Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet. Before that, time now for a Sports 1440 update, brought to you by AWS Welding Supplies and Nisku. Product sales, servicing, calibrating, free same-day delivery of in-stock items to Leduc, Nisku, and South Edmonton. Your one-stop shop for all things welding. That is awswelding.ca. Here is the Duke.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Lone game in the Stanley Cup playoffs last night saw the Colorado Avalanche beat Minnesota 5-2 to open up a 2-0 series lead and remain perfect in the postseason, matching the Hurricanes at 6. And off the ice, however, big news from Secaucus, New Jersey, as NHL draft lottery for June 26th. First round went, and the Toronto Maple Leafs jumped from number 5 overall to number 1. Projected top pick Gavin McKenna out of Penn State. Top 10 in order after that. San Jose moved up 7 spots in the second winning of the lottery, followed by Vancouver, Chicago, the Rangers, Calgary, Seattle, Winnipeg, Florida, and Nashville. League also announcing the finals for this year's Calder Trophy for the top rookie of the campaign. Last year's top pick, Matthew Schaefer, tied for the rookie record in goals by a defenseman, as well as Ivan Demidov out of Montreal and Anaheim's Beckett Seneca rounding out the finalists. In the PWHL, it was a marathon, triple overtime game, but Montreal takes it 1-0 over Minnesota, even their semifinal series at 1 game apiece. And in the association, top seeded Detroit Pistons, they get past Cleveland 111-101, take a 1-0 series lead. And in Oklahoma City, the Thunder, 108-90 winners over the Lakers, 24 points by Chet Holmgren leading the way. They also take a 1-0 series lead. Over in the majors, full slate of games, including the Blue Jays, dropping the second of their set, to the Rays 4-3. The final elsewhere, Baltimore beat Miami 9-7. Boston topped the Tigers 10-3. Dodgers fall to the Astros 2-1, and the Seattle Mariners, they fall to the Braves 3-2. Coming up in hour 2 of the Kevin Karius Show, we'll be joined by Sportsnet's Mark Spector, as well as Edmonton Elks defensive back Cordell Jackson. I'm Brandon Douglas at your Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
Summer in Alberta means baseball debates.
Okay, best ballpark snack. Gotta be popcorn. Nah, it's nachos, hands down.
Nah, you're both wrong. It's mini donuts.
But when it comes to beef jerky, there's no argument.
Wilhauk Beef Jerky.
The only snack every fan agrees on. Grab some for your next ballpark outing.
Wilhauk Beef Jerky. Because you don't win games with salad. Only available in Leduc.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at edmontonexpocentre.com today.
Increase resistance to stress and support memory enhancement with new Roots Herbals Ashwagandha. Find it at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of every month. To ensure this product is right for you, always read and follow the label.
You wanted local sports on weekends. Saturday mornings at 9, check out the Saturday Sports Setup, where we'll tee up what's happening on the weekend sports scene. Tune in Saturday morning at 9 on Sports 1440.
The Lawnmower Hospital. You've enjoyed a long winter with your Ego snowblower, but now it's the time to get ready for spring. Bring your summer Ego equipment in for service. Or if you're looking to add to your lawn care fleet with new mowers or trimmers, Ego has a wide selection of products to fit every season. Ego also has the powerful wet-dry vacuum and pressure washer to make your cleaning and lawn care a breeze. We're more than repairs. We're more than mowers. The Lawnmower Hospital.
Is your business ready to grow? Not sure how? We have your solution. We are Stingray. Whether your customers are around the corner or across the country, Stingray connects you with radio to digital advertising, including connected TV, search and social, programmatic, digital advertising, and digital out of home. From idea to execution, we've got you covered. With creative and production, cross-platform integration, detailed reporting, and one-on-one support, it's the easy way to make your business grow. Get started now at stingraymediasolutions.com.
Stories, guests,
And insights.
This is Sports 1440 and the Kevin Karius Show.
All right, welcome back to the big program. 8 o'clock in Edmonton. Kevin Karius, Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick with you here on Sports 1440. Time now for On the Mark, brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Hey, the playoff push is here, except for in town. But in April at Northgate Chevrolet, there's no pressure, no giveaways, no phony prizes, just good old-fashioned deals. See more at northgategm.com as we welcome in the Framber Valdez of the Sunripe Baseball League, Mark Spector, to the program. Good morning, Spec.
Sunburst, not sunripe yet, Goomba.
I know what it is. I just like saying it because I know it gets you just gets you going, Spec. Would you have been with the Framber Valdez of like after two guys go back to back and you drill the next guy right in the back, or what?
I never threw hard enough. They could always get out of the way.
You're like that movie. What was it? Brewster's Millions. Remember that movie? It was great because John Candy was so good behind the plate catching Richard Pryor, and they were playing the Yankees. Remember in that exhibition game, and they had the railway tracks going through the field and something to the effect of, yeah, that was his fastball. Oh, really? Oh man.
Yeah. Well, enough about me. How about you? Let's talk about you.
What about me? What have I done now?
What do you make of the Leafs? How does having the first overall change everything in Toronto?
It does. Again, like it's like the 24-hour news cycle. Everyone forgets that media availability now with Jake and Sundin.
Yeah, right.
You know, so I don't know. Like, how many times did someone say to you, "Oh, this is a fix," or you read something online? The league's fixed all this. Isn't it something, eh?
Everything's fixed. If it doesn't go your way, it's fixed. It's rigged. We know who you can blame for that term.
No, who?
I mean, it gives it, you know what? There's a lot of pressure here. Now you got to pick the right guy. Like if we're 3 years into the John Chaika, 4 years into the John Chaika regime, and he picked the wrong guy, you know, that there's a great responsibility with having number one. And this is a funny year. You know, this isn't, I mean, I don't know. People say Gavin McKenna, sure, is number one, no doubt about it. Well, you know, he's a winger who isn't very big. So he has to be absolutely a fantastic player to make the kind of impact that a centerman would make or a big defenseman would make. I'm not saying he can't.
Would you trade it? Would you trade it, Spec?
I'd trade down to like 4. Yep.
Would you? Wow.
So, I mean, I don't think you can in Toronto. I don't think you can. I don't think that it's been so long since, I mean, the last time they drafted up here, they got Austin Matthews. I don't think this guy's Austin Matthews.
No.
So
you're thinking this is almost like the Yakubov draft where you
I think they're better than that. Like I listen, full disclosure, I'm not in junior rinks. I'm not scouting NCAA. So I don't have time for that. I got enough work on my plate. But I'm just looking at some of the top guys and they're smaller wingers. That's what they are. Right. And you can't, we learned in Edmonton, you don't build your team from the wings in, you build it from center out. When they were drafting, you know, Taylor Hall, God bless him, and look how great he's playing now. You can't build your team around a left winger.
Yeah.
You know,
no, hey, we're with you. And I mean, this is out of all the positions, there's some great D-men and there's some great wingers, but this draft is a little softer down the middle. And the top guy is Caleb Malhotra, you know.
So to me, Caleb Malhotra, sure. And I what kind of player is he going to be? I don't know. Is he a first overall? Probably not. No. You know, I feel like if I don't have a slam dunk up front, then I start to look at the blue line. Like if you can, that team has got they're weak on the blue line. They need help everywhere, Toronto. That's why they are where they are. Yeah. And that Verhoff would be very appealing to me. Very appealing.
Well, Reed is probably, you know, Verhoff's bigger, but he's not, his foot speed isn't as much as like the other couple defensemen that are there, right? So out of the top 3 defensemen, Verhoff probably has the slowest, and I'm not saying he's a Clydesdale, but he would be out of the top 3 defensemen, he would be the slowest of the 3 of them.
Okay, well, I mean, that's where your scouts come in, right?
Yeah.
Like I say, I'm not here to tell you the individual qualities, because that to me, when guys like me who don't go to junior rinks start coming out with opinions on junior hockey players, it's disrespectful to the people that are there doing all the work.
Totally agree.
Yeah. I'm not going to do that. But over on an overarching feeling, I'm always nervous about wingers going first overall. I am. I've heard more than one guy say, "Why don't we just draft only centers and then move them to the wing if we have to?" You know.
Yeah.
And that's not a bad idea either. So,
you know, I think a lot of people, maybe not a lot, but some people might look at the World Junior Championship here this past year, and you look at Ivar Stenberg, and he was probably a little bit better than what Gavin McKenna was. And Stenberg's, you know, and Stenberg's not a big guy either here, man. Like, there's not a lot of size up front here when you're thinking about.
No, small wingers have to be like to be impactful. You know, small wingers have to, small skill wingers, I might say, small skill guys. Like that's a big ask. And now you're going into a market where they're going to play you right away, and there's going to be a mountain of pressure on you, you know, and you're not surrounded by a really good team, and you might not be able to take a small, inexperienced winger and just latch him to Matthews's, you know, flank. And after 25 games, Matthews might be looking at the coach going, "Hey, man, I need help here." So it's fraught with danger. I just would say to you, like, I feel like if you draft a big, you know, a good big centerman, at least you can say, give him some time to develop. He's going to develop into a top 6 centerman. That's pretty good. Big, strong, useful defenseman I can keep for 10 years. Awesome. You know? So anyway, that's my thoughts on it. But I fell for Vancouver. They got the ham sandwich again. Oh my God.
And Calgary goes down to 6. You know, But maybe you're right, Spec, in the sense that this is one of those years where you're better to be 3, 4, 5, or whatever the number you want to put it at. You go back like 10 years ago, the guy that was drafted 4th overall ended up to be pretty damn good, and that's Cale Makar.
Yep.
So and the guys that went ahead of him, like one guy's out of the league, and he sure went number 1 overall to Jersey, and then Heiskanen. To me, Heiskanen and Makar. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the Heiskanen pick at all. So I mean, so that was 3 and 4 in that draft. So and that's where you're looking at these defensemen, like you're saying.
Yeah, you get a franchise defenseman. It could, like I want to say, like the other thing we talk about a lot is how many legitimate, genuine number 1 defensemen are there among 32 teams? What are there?
Yeah.
Probably more now than there used to be. Is there 17, 18? I don't know. We'll do the math on that. But, once we get to 15, now we're arguing over guys.
Mm-hmm.
How many legitimate, like on a, first line centerman on a good team are there? There's lots of teams out there that don't have one. It's like goaltending. Not don't tell Oilers fans this, not everyone gets a genuine number 1 goalie on their team, but you still have to play your schedule and put somebody in net. So to me, if there's a guy that has the potential to be a number 1 defenseman, I think what we've learned out here is the only way to get that guy is to draft him.
Mm-hmm.
There's all kinds of first line wingers out there on all kinds of teams. You can find those guys. You can trade for them. You can't trade for a number 1 goalie. You can't trade for a number 1 defenseman, and it's awfully hard to trade for a number 1 center.
Mm-hmm. Mark Spector with us in Sports 1440. I don't know if you caught a little bit of the Colorado-Minnesota game last night. The Avs up 2-0. They got 12 different goal scorers. This is a record for the first 2 games. 12 different goal scorers, and it's an anomaly because of the 9 goals in game number 1. But I mean, they are, besides the goal scoring spec, they are forcing their physical will on Minnesota here. They're just pounding them. Wow.
Yeah, they're playing like a team that really sees a path to the Stanley Cup for sure. And I feel, personally, Minnesota's probably their toughest series of the next 2. I think Minnesota's a better team than Vegas or Anaheim.
Give you that.
Good for Colorado. They see the window and they're going for it here. They've been out of the picture for a couple of years, but oh boy, they're sure in it now. They got a really good team. I mean, McKinnon's playing like a beast. That hit he put on Boldy in the corner, like he just absolutely physically dominated one of their best players. And there's no one asking who was a bigger, stronger man in that confrontation. Holy cow.
That was hit to hurt. The best thing here for Minnesota, I mean, they don't play game 3 till Saturday, Spec. So
that's okay. They need to regroup.
That's what I'm saying. It's the best thing for Minnesota right now.
Yeah. They need to regroup. And hey, game 3s must win. It's
You're on home ice. It's going to be wild in Minnesota. I mean, they're not out of this series yet, but they got to win game 3 or else it's over.
Yeah, it's must win. You got to win game 3 or it's over. You're going home. They can do that. They're a good team, Mini, and they are huge. Like the one thing about Mini that always scares me about them is they're a giant team filled with big, strong players. Sure, Zuccarello's not big, Boldy's not big, but they got tons of size. I barely watched the game last night. I was with my grandkids. Did Eriksson Ek play, or he missed the first 2, right?
No, he hasn't played yet, but I think with this extra 3 days off here, Spec, I think there's a good chance that he could get back in the lineup. And they also missed Brodin too. Those are 2 really, really big parts. But
2 huge parts of your team.
Here's the thing, Spec. Like right now, up the middle, it isn't even a debate. Colorado is just so much better than every other team that's left in this league up the middle. And then when you take Yule Eriksson Ek out of the lineup, now you even see it more so.
He's an unbelievably good player.
Right?
He's their Swiss Army guy. Like he's offensive, he scores, he checks, he contains the best guy on the other team. So they're hurting a ton without him. And Brodin's just a massive part of their team. So, and now they've gone through 2 goalies and each guy's let in at least 5.
Mm-hmm.
They have good goaltending. I mean, they got 2 guys. There's a rare example when they got Gustafsson from Ottawa in trade. That was a massive blunder on the Senators' part.
Yeah, he gives up 4. He gives up 4 with the empty netter. So I don't know who they go back to in game 3, but
4 with the empty netter. But either way, they,
they got
Wallstead
to find a way to keep it under 3 here.
Yeah. I didn't like I did see was it Nick Wa's goal?
Yeah, right in front, do you think?
Yeah, I didn't love Sorry?
The Nick Waugh goal, like the 3-1 goal, is that what you mean?
Yeah, the 3-1 goal. He took a pass, rifled it from the higher slot past Gustafsson. I didn't love that goal. I didn't think, you're going to need, you're going to beat Colorado. You're going to need unbelievable goaltending, not just good, but great. And they clearly haven't had that yet. So, hey, the pressure's on. Colorado has won before. They're filled with guys that they're filled with Olympic players. They're filled with top-level all-star guys. There's a team. They got how many teams in hockey? I think we had this conversation once. How many teams in hockey have a legit number 1 center, legit number 1 defenseman, and a legit number 1 goalie? And I'm not sure which guy that is on Colorado. But if they get goaltending, they're awfully hard to beat.
Yeah, they got it. You got 2 out of 3 here, and it's not enough. Montreal-Buffalo tonight, Spec. You want to bet on overtime? You want to bet on overtime?
Yeah, that's how they play, huh?
Well, it's Buffalo had a couple, Montreal had a couple here against Tampa, so I would expect a real, a 2-1, 3-2 tonight, something like that.
Well, maybe, maybe. I think it's really fun. Like I'm a big believer. I know Oiler fans want their team on top every year for the end till the end of time. I get that, but I love the change we're seeing in the league this year. I love the Montreal and Buffalo. Oh my God, when is the last time they played the playoff series? Do we know?
No, but I went down and I made a mistake when I was adding up. I was looking at games played. They've played 7 times or something like that, Spec, and it's 18, 17, and 1. That's how close it's been. But they had all those great series back in the 70s, remember?
Yeah, that's where I'm going with this. Is my memories of Buffalo and Montreal playing were Montreal. I always thought I would have thought Montreal would have a way bigger edge than what you just described. And it was the Forum and the Odd, and it was Lafleur against the French Connection. And I know I'm old and that's going back a long time, but I don't think they haven't played many times since, that's for sure. And just seeing those two uniforms go at it, I'm excited. I think it's great. It's Buffalo, like as exemplified by the fact they sang the entire Canadian anthem the other day with unprompted. It's a great hockey market. Like those people love their Sabres, man, and they've been so deprived for so long. And Montreal's Montreal. Look at the juice in that market right now. Oh my God, they won one series. They're honking horns in the street like they won the cup. So that's going to have just a ton of juice in that series. 2 teams that never dreamed they'd be in the 3rd round this year, and one of them's going to get there.
Okay, I got to ask you a question too, Spec. We talked about it a half an hour ago, but a guy just texted in and wants us to talk about it, and it's the Sam O'Reilly trade with Ike Howard, because yesterday Sam O'Reilly was named the OHL Most Outstanding Player. He's 2 years younger. He's a right shot center. He's got 14 goals in 14 playoff games, and they're in the OHL final. He's in his 4th straight OHL final. He's won 2 championships. He's the captain of the team. Ike Howard has to have a big year next year, no?
Well, he's trending pretty good, Sam O'Reilly. Listen, he is playing for London, and London's a machine. But
now he's in Kitchener now, right? So
he's in Kitchener. I'm sorry, that's right. Excuse me. He spent 3 years in London, though.
Absolutely did, yeah.
Right. Excuse me. My mistake.
No.
Listen. Like I think what you're feeling is first of all, there's another one. That's a winger for a center. That was a short-term trade that the Oilers made because they've said we got lots of centers. We need wingers who can score. We need the way Savoy has come in and played on McDavid's wing pretty successfully in his rookie season. Yeah. And I think we all look at Savoy and say, you know what, if this keeps going north, that trading McLeod, a more veteran center for that winger, that's going to be a great trade. You got an inexpensive guy you got control over. He's playing next to McDavid. They want the exact same thing out of Howard. Howard, I think everybody knew that O'Reilly is the Oilers took a step, they've traded to get O'Reilly. They really loved him when they drafted him and believed in him, but I think they thought that they could speed their process up, and their need was a scoring winger for one of their top centermen, more so than a guy who O'Reilly projects to be what? A third or maybe second line center in the NHL?
Right now, third, yeah.
Guys are saying third.
He's
That's
got
okay.
a chance to go second because he can play. He's responsible defensively.
Okay. If you can draft if you got a 21-year-old Jason Dickinson coming into your program, who that's great.
Yeah.
That's a valuable guy. I'm not. This trade may turn out to be a disaster, and it all stems on whether Ike Howard can be the guy that the Oilers hoped he would be. If Ike Howard becomes a productive winger and scores goals and complements your centerman that you have here already, they don't need another centerman, Edmonton.
Ike Howard is where Savoy was a year ago, right? So that's where Ike Howard has to, he's got to learn the pro game next year. If he can get, 15 goals, then you're happy here.
Yeah, I totally agree. Ike Howard has to take. Well, this is his first year pro. So he played it mostly in Bakersfield, which is great. That's exactly what Savoy did a year ago. And let's see, I'm not, but there is some risk here because they identified a really good player in O'Reilly. They drafted him, and then they moved off him. And he hasn't gotten worse. They didn't move off him because he was going the wrong direction or he's not a good player. They moved off him for a purpose here, and that purpose better work out or you're not going to look real good when O'Reilly plays 950 games in the league.
Good stuff, Spec. We'll talk to you tomorrow, big guy.
All right. Thanks, Gav.
That's Mark Spector on the mark. Rogers Sportsnet brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. This truck's for you. When we come back, we're going to talk a little football and pretty happy to talk about it with one of their top players. Well, can't get better than the most outstanding defensive player, Cordell Jackson from your Edmonton Elks. That's straight ahead on the Kevin Karius Show with the Duke of Delburne. Josh Fenwick on Sports 1440 AM radio. We're streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Wondering what you can afford? Let Go Auto do the math with our free car loan calculator. No pressure, no awkward convos, just quick answers on your budget and payments. Bad credit, no credit? We got you. Text check to 780-777-7777. That's check to 780 all 7. Find out what you qualify for and start shopping with confidence. Go Auto. Drive what you love with payments that make sense.
You have neck or back pain? Ever go for treatment hoping for a simple fix only to realize your stubborn spine is basically a science project with attitude? Hey, we get it. And honestly, we're a little sorry because great rehab does take proper experimenting. But at Leading Edge Physiotherapy, we don't just toss exercises into the beaker and hope it doesn't explode. We start with the right diagnosis, then mix hands-on care, precise manual therapy, and evidence-based technology. The formula your body actually needs. Science and skill with gratitude, not attitude. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
Craving a dining experience that rises above the rest? Head to Summit Restaurant in the Silent Ice Center, just minutes from South Edmonton Common. Savor exceptional house-made pizza, delectable entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails in a stylish, modern atmosphere. Perfect for a casual meal or a special night out. Summit offers a refined experience where every bite and sip reflects our dedication to quality. Elevate your dining experience. Make Summit Restaurant your destination tonight.
Hey there, I'm in the Fountain Tire sidecar, making a list of the things I'm doing this spring. 1. Saving you money, with up to 20% off select tires until June 13th. 2. Water skiing, tricky in a sidecar, but fun. And 3. Saving you more money, with mail-in rebates of up to $100 off a set of 4 select tires and $50 off a $150 service with the purchase of 4 select tires. Oh, that's 4 things. Oh well. Restrictions apply. Book online at fountaintire.com. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
Have your sports curiosity cured with the Kevin Karius Show. This is Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program. 8:22 in Edmonton, and time now for the headliner of the day, brought to you by Mr. Rooter Plumbing. Draining clogged pipes like three-pointers. For all your plumbing needs, go to mrrooter.ca as we welcome in Cordell Jackson from the Edmonton Elks. Good morning, Cordell. You're with Kevin Karius. Thanks for jumping on Sports 1440 this morning. Really appreciate it.
Good morning, guys. Thanks for having me as well.
Hey, man, how was your off-season, Cordell? What was it like? Where were you at? What did you do?
I went home to Alabama for a few. Then I came back to Edmonton. Really simple off season. I went a few places, seeing some travel, did a little traveling, but mostly just, work out, stay with family.
Oh, cool stuff. Where'd you travel to, Cordell?
Vegas, Miami. I think those two main trips.
Yeah, that sounds like a little bit of fun. Sort of kind of a time to recharge. How do you go about your training in the off season after such a grueling year on the gridiron for, every player? So how do you handle that as far as rest and recovery and then, getting stronger for the upcoming season?
Probably take that first month off, get back just to spend time with family, not to really have anything to do. Then after that, just doing, mobility type stuff, just movements, making sure you're not getting too bad out of shape.
Mm-hmm.
And then, beginning of the year, you got to hit the ground running.
Yeah. Do you have trainers down there in Alabama that you work with, or do you do it on your own mostly?
Oh, no, I work with my trainer, Otis Leverett.
Okay.
That's who I work with. It's MDF Nation.
Mm-hmm.
But when I'm here in Edmonton, then I work with our trainers here.
Yeah. What part of the winter were you back in Edmonton? Did you get to experience a little bit of our Edmonton winters here, Cordell?
Yeah, I heard about the famous winters. I got to experience it a little bit. Very, very, very cold.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of snow. I think it just stopped snowing a week or two ago.
Yeah, we've had a wild spring here, Cordell, for sure. With camp coming up here, and it starts on Sunday, maybe just touch on how excited it's always that time of the year, and every player, every team says the same things, but for some reason it feels a little different here
Mm-hmm.
because before you got here there was sort of some dark times, Cordell. It was a tougher goal for football in our city, but you're one of the guys since you've arrived that you've seen the corner starting to being turned here. Maybe touch on that, and then camp coming up, Cordell.
I think it's big as far as the coaching change, as far as just having Ed as the GM and Coach Killam as the head coach. I think they bring the old energy back as far as how they want us to play, how they want us to handle our business in the community, outside of the field and on the field. And I think it's just a lot of because I went back and I watched some of the old Grey Cup, some of the old semifinals when the Elks were 2002, 2003, 2015, even in the 80s, and just watching it, it was just the brand of football that they played that I could see in ourselves now and what we're trying to get to. And so I think that's just the biggest difference right now is the mindset as far as up top to the bottom.
Mm-hmm. Cordell Jackson with us on the Kevin Karius Show here on Sports 1440. Well, so maybe just touch on watching some of that old game film, old tapes, maybe highlights from 20 odd years ago. And then, the last Grey Cup that back then that the Edmonton Eskimos won in 2015, I was at that game in Winnipeg. And I mean, the feeling after that game was that, they're going to be doing this for a while. And then things went south a little bit. What did you see when you were watching? And who were some of the players that maybe you saw on tape and on film and in the highlights that you went, hey man, that guy's a baller. That guy's a good player.
We go with the recent one, but Coach AG, that's our defense coach, of course. Coach Grimes, Mondo, Odell, and then on offense, I believe it was Ricky Ray or Mike Riley, from 2002 to 2015. Then it was on offense, they had a receiver. I can't remember the receiver's name for the 2015 year, but he was a long guy. Number 7, I believe. Number 87 was good. I mean, it had a lot of guys, but the main thing I saw was, especially in that championship game, they went down 13-0 quickly within the first few minutes of the game, 4 or 5 minutes of the game. And I just seen the calmness and the confidence they still had, the togetherness, the brotherhood that they had. Nobody was arguing at each other on the sideline. They were just trying to figure things out. It wasn't anybody breaking apart. And I think that's the big part of the Double E culture is the brotherhood that you have and the camaraderie that you have to where you get in those tough spots. You already know who you are. You already know what y'all made of. So there's no need to argue. There's no need to complain and do all these things. It's just how figuring it out together.
Yeah.
That's the main thing I saw.
The two guys that you might be thinking of, Cordell, back in 2015 might have been Darrell Walker or Darius Bowman.
Yeah, both of those guys.
Yeah, they were.
And then they had a long corner, too.
A long corner.
6'4" corner.
Okay, I'll have to think about that one for a second here. But even when you go back to 20-odd years ago, 22, 23, 24 years ago, Jason Tucker, receivers coach, he was really good with Ricky Ray.
Yeah. Coach Ed, GM Ed.
Yeah, they were very good between Tucker and Ed Hervey back in the day. J.C. Sherritt too as well. So what's it been like being under J.C. Sherritt, your defensive coordinator here with the Elks?
It's been amazing, man. He's a very intelligent defensive coordinator. He listens to the guys. He also, he played the game at a high level, was defensive player of the year before. So it's always good to just pick his brain as far as what he's seeing and why he calling things the way he calls it. And that's just, it's a blessing to have somebody who played for the team and won a championship for the team because they know what it takes here. They know how the fan base is here. They know what it should look like to be a WE player, how it should play as well. So that's always important to have. That's when you talk about culture and a team. And he's a big part of the culture just because he was one who kind of upheld and did it in the past in 2015.
Yeah. Cordell Jackson, Edmonton Elks defensive back with us on Sports 1440, the Kevin Karius Show, 829 in Edmonton. And when J.C. Sherritt played, we call him tweeners, Cordell. And, you're not like J.C. in the same sense where you were like J.C. was a linebacker, but you've been playing everywhere since you got here. Man, is there anywhere on the defense that you haven't played yet besides the D-line?
Probably corner. That's probably it.
Yeah, because you're at halfback, you were at safety. Sometimes you were at, I guess you were at Sam linebacker at times last year. But just maybe speak to how you enjoy moving around the ball on defense.
I think that just goes back to when I was younger. I'm not always the biggest guy. I'm not always the strongest guy. So in order for me to get on the field, I have to kind of know every position and be able to play every position at a high level. So that's just my mentor as far as learning and knowing everything. But I love it. I love being versatile. I love playing every position on the field just because also that confuses the defense when they think you're at one position and then now you're lying at the other. And that's how you confuse the quarterback and create interceptions as well. So I love the fact that, they also allow me to play different positions as well and use the skill.
Is there one position in particular that you feel is your strongest?
No, I don't, but I do love Sam the most. But I feel like I could play each one of them at a high level.
Why do you like Sam linebacker the most?
Because people, they think I'm so small that I can't play it. And then two, it's just around the ball. And you could dictate a lot of the game from Sam as far as disguises and schemes. So that's why I like Sam.
Yeah. Cordell Jackson with us, named most outstanding defensive player on the Elks football club last year. What did that honor mean to you, Cordell?
Oh, that means a lot. But just because, it took us a minute, but during that second half of the season, man, we had some people who were playing some great ball, and we were coming together and we were winning games, and it meant a lot just because they saw, I guess, the impact that I had on the game or the team just being a leader, and even the stats in some cases. But it means a lot that my coaches and players, thought so much of me to nominate me as that.
When I interviewed you last year, Cordell, following a few practices, we spoke about, growing up and who meant a lot to you, who helped get you to where you are. Maybe can you just touch on that again? And then I obviously want to talk a little bit about Austin Peay State again with you, but just maybe, between family, friends, coaches, and that helped you along the way here?
It's really a village, man. My mom, primary, just because she got me into the game. She got me into the sport. She's the reason I love the game, just because I was always around it, always watching it. My brothers, Kilner and Chris, my oldest brother played before me, so I was always in their practices, always just in the way, But they at some point they just let me be on the team with them, so that meant a lot to me as well, and that just showed me, the camaraderie you can have, even when you're younger, playing with older guys, and it just felt cool being a young guy, being around all the older guys, and cousins, family members, just from a toughness level, because I was one of the youngest. So my older cousins, Dre and Bubba, they both, beat me up all the time, tackled me all the time. I was the practice down, so I was the one, they was practicing on me. But for me, it was fun too, because, I was trying to dodge them and avoid them, and then just getting hit, just seeing how hard, you can take a hit and get back up and keep going. So, and then you got trainers along the way, coaches, Coach Nelson, my trainer. I've been with him since I was in the 9th grade. He's a big part of my success for sure, because the way we train, it's a mental aspect to it that a lot of people don't have, And so it was a lot, man. Coach Nelson, my high school head coach, it was a lot of people along the way that really helped me and blessed me, just with different eye openers and different tips and tricks on the game and just in life. So it's a village type thing for sure. But
your cousins Dre and Bubba, man, they must be pretty proud of you getting to where you are.
Oh yeah, they supposed to be coming up here this year too, man. And they be mad because I always call them my cousins, but I don't ever name them. So,
so they're gonna come up they're gonna come up. Sorry to interrupt. They're gonna come up, Cordell, for a visit and watch a game or two.
Yeah, that's what they're supposed to do, man. I can't wait to have them, because I think that, I think my oldest brother and one of my good friends of mine, I think, and my best friend, she came up as well. My little girl, and my girl, but everybody else is, they're coming up soon. That's what they said. They said they're going to make it up here. So,
oh, that's exciting. Well, they're going to enjoy, and how great the summers are here, because it's beautiful in the River Valley, and I know a lot of you guys go out and about and check things out. So what have you liked about your time in Edmonton, I guess off the field, in the couple of years that you've been here?
The food here is very amazing. The people are amazing. Just being in the community, they were just waiting on the Elks / Eskimos to really just take that next step and become great again. And you can see it, even, when I'm walking around with my Elks gear on, they ask when you play, do you play, blah, blah, blah. But you can see them ready to erupt when the big season comes. You can see it with the Oilers, I know it's the same fan base with the Elks. And then I like how quiet it is. I'm not a big city type of guy. I like to, stay to myself, being able to do little activities as far as, bowl, golf, just go outside, eat on the patio, that type things. In the summertime, it's very beautiful. It reminds me a little bit of Seattle as far as the views and, that type of stuff. But
have you been able to golf a little bit here in the in the spring at all?
Oh no, man. No golf this winter. It's the winter time here, apparently.
Oh, we got to get you out here, Cordell. There's so many great courses in Edmonton.
Oh yeah, I've been to Edmonton. Yeah. I went a few times last year and the year before for sure.
Okay, good.
But not this year yet. That's what I'm waiting on.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, we'll see what happens here once camp gets going. Starting Sunday, it's going to be at Clark, and obviously it's a great facility, and you guys will be raring to go. There's some rule changes that have been happening here as far as how the field's going to be changing, some next year as well. But did you really like the length of the field? And I mean, the width is going to be the same, but how did that help your game, and how did you enjoy playing on the bigger field? It's going to be a little shorter here soon.
I like the bigger field as far as, longer throws, defensive back wise. So, you could play different techniques and stuff, but Field dimensions, I don't think, I don't really mind any of it except probably the back of that end zone being short. I really like that one for us DBs. Instead of running 20 yards, you can run 15. I think the field goal post move to the back, I think there's pros and cons to that just because, sometimes they used to hit the field goal post, save us a little bit. But other times, they could use it to, but they could use it to their advantage as well. So I think it's just pros and cons to everything that's going on with the rule changes and field dimensions and stuff like that.
Yeah, and for this year, it's going to be more about the modified rouge, and the play clock will be different. And then the following year is when the field changes the dimensions. Will the play clock, how will that factor in for you going down to a 20-second play clock, or going from the 20-second play clock to that automatic 35-second countdown after the previous play ends?
I think it won't be too much of a difference, because if you really think about it, it takes about 10 to 15-ish seconds for the ref to blow it in after it's spotted, chains get set up and all that type of stuff. But if anything, I think it'll give you a little more time to catch your breath. But you got to get lined up quickly. You can't be lackadaisical with it. So I think it's just going to see who's really in condition as well, because you got to sprint to your spot to get lined up, get the call, get all that handled, instead of just walking back this time and waiting on the whistle to blow.
I don't know if you met Eddie Steele yet. He's our co-host on Mondays and Fridays, but he was a member of that 2015 Grey Cup championship team. He just texted in, and you were talking about that lanky cornerback, and Eddie said his name is Pat Watkins. I don't know if that rings a bell.
That's him for sure.
He
had an interception in the Grey Cup. Supposed to have 2.
There you go. So thanks for Eddie. I know he's listening. He's driving around doing some calls. But so are you all ready for camp then, Cordell?
Yes, sir. Ready to go.
That's good. Well, I really appreciate you coming on. Enjoy camp. I know it can be a little bit of grueling few days and weeks, but I hope sooner than later, it feels like for you that you start the preseason and get things rolling here, because we can't wait for the football season to begin, and I'm sure you can't either. Thanks for coming on, Cordell.
I appreciate you guys for having me anytime, man.
That's Cordell Jackson, the Edmonton Elks' most outstanding defensive player from a year ago, and he was a darn good player last year. He was second on the team in tackles with 78, but he played, halfback. He played safety. He played some time at Sam linebacker. That's a strong side. He had 2 sacks, 1 interception, and also led the team in pass knockdowns with 11. And he's fast, he's quick, he's strong, and he's going to be a key contributor on this Edmonton Elks defense and in the secondary this year. That's the headliner of the day, brought to you by Mr. Reuter Plumbing, the only team you want in your corner when things get messy. That's Mr. Reuter.ca. When we come back, we'll get to some of your texts, 833-401-1440. We'll also get to another edition. I guess it would be episode number 22 of Cam and Eggs with Cam Tate. That's coming up on the Kevin Karius Show with the Duke of Delburne and Josh Fenwick on Sports 1440 AM radio. We're streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
With Play Alberta, backing the home team goes beyond the bets. That's because your picks have provincial impact. Play Alberta is the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. By investing in the General Revenue Fund, every play, bet, and buy made on Play Alberta helps make a difference across the province. It feels good to know your fund goes further at home. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Mr. Reuter gets attacked by a Canada goose.
Oh, look at that. Another on-time arrival. Nothing stops Mr. Reuter from plumbing on schedule. You gotta be kidding me. Hello, Mr. Goose. I'm Mr. Reuter. Okay, this is what you train for. Through rain, sleet, or goose, the pipes get fixed.
For a plumber who does whatever it takes, Mr. Reuter.
Want to invest in Alberta's workforce, fill your talent pipeline, and get funding? Careers, the next generation connects employers with motivated, pre-vetted youth through funded internships. Easy, impactful, and risk-free.
When you work with a group like Careers who have experience in that area, they can demystify and navigate all the complex steps and stakeholders that have to be involved.
Visit careersnextgen.ca today.
It's time to hit the greens. Elevate your golf game with Country Club Tour Golf Academy. No matter your experience, our PGA of Canada teaching pros are here to help. Enjoy lessons year-round between our 7 CCT golf courses and 2 state-of-the-art indoor facilities. Choose the location convenient for you. We offer private lessons, group lessons, expert club fittings, and junior camps. Visit our website to learn more and get ready to take your game to the next level. Booking is easy. Go to countryclubtour.com/golf academy and schedule your lesson today.
Don't let equipment failure stop you cold. At AWS Welding in Nisku, our factory-trained service techs are on hand for all welding equipment repairs. We're a fully warranted center for Miller, Lincoln, and ESAB. And we service all makes and models. Proper, regular service extends the life of your gear and keeps it running at peak capacity. Don't wait for a breakdown. Book your service appointment today at 780-979-0470. AWS Welding. We make it happen.
Build stamina and relieve fatigue with new Roots Herbals Energy, a well-balanced formula with D-ribose, astragalus, and ginseng. Find it at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of every month.
You wanted local sports on weekends. Saturday mornings at 9, check out the Saturday Sports Setup, where we'll tee up what's happening on the weekend sports scene. Tune in Saturday morning at 9 on Sports 1440.
McValue breakfast meals are $5 plus tax every day. Get a sausage McMuffin, bagel with cream cheese product, or breakfast burrito with hash brown and small coffee, all for just $5 plus taxes. Available until 11 a.m. at Canadian restaurants. Product availability varies. Prices exclude delivery.
I'm Rick Showers from No Bull RV, and you'll notice something different about our store compared to the new RV stores. Our lot is full, bursting at the seams with quality used RVs for you to see. The new RV stores, well, their stuff is trickling in. For the most part, they're taking orders for trailers and motorhomes to be delivered at some future date.
At No Bull, you can take yours home right away. Right, Rick?
That's right, Bob. Every RV on our lot is ready to go. Bring your truck and you can take it home with you. You could be enjoying the great outdoors this weekend if you want. And because every RV on our lot is one of a kind, it's worth it to take a look around. It's not like we have 20 of the exact same model.
That's what the new RV stores look like.
Not here, Bob. Every single one is different. The perfect used RV for your family is probably on our lot already. Why not pick it up before someone else does?
And that's No Bull.
NoBullRV.ca.
Have your sports curiosity cured with the Kevin Karius Show. This is Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program. 8:46 in Edmonton, just before we get to another edition of Cam and Eggs. Cordell Jackson, I appreciate and I think it's fabulous and fantastic when guys come into town from the United States and they, this is something new to them, man. I mean, they're in another country. Like a lot of these guys never even heard of the CFL. They didn't know the CFL even existed. To be honest with you, then they don't know the rules up here. They definitely don't know the history. But when a guy like Cordell Jackson says, well, when I got here, I wanted to find out about stuff. I checked out the Grey Cup champion teams in the early 2000s. I watched that 2015 Grey Cup. To me, those are the guys you want. And I think that's another thing that Ed Hervey has tried to instill about the atmosphere in this dressing room. In this locker room, in this team, in the facility, you got to know where things came from. I mean, for him to bring up, names like Ricky Ray and Jason Maas and all these guys from the 2000s, and then to talk about 2015, and he goes, the receivers, I'm number 7, I think, and maybe 87. That's Darrell Walker and Darius Bowman. Maybe the names didn't come to him immediately, and the same thing, with Patty, with Watkins, the quarterback or cornerback. So I just think those are the guys you want. I remember a few years ago, the name is escaping me, but he was a returner, and he came in here and he started to return some kicks and some punts. And at that point, the Elks had 0. Like they hadn't had a touchdown return for years. They had nothing. They couldn't return it 10 yards. And I said, hey, I can't remember this guy's name. I'm going to have to think about it. But I said, I'll tell you what, if you could be a 10th of what Gizmo Williams was in this town, I said, you'll never have to buy a drink or a steak ever again. And he was like, who's Gizmo Williams? So, to me, I was like, man, you got to know that. So, full marks to Cordell Jackson for being that kind of guy and wanting to know and being a part, wanting to know a little bit about your organization, a little bit about your city, some history with your team. So, 8:48 in Edmonton, Cam Tate just really pounding the pavement here, nose to the grindstone, ear to the ground, the whole bit. Here's another edition of Cam and Eggs.
Cam and Eggs, order 22. Close your eyes and smell the cold. Think back to those midnight sessions on the backyard rink where the only crowd was the moon and the only sound was the rhythmic scritch-scratch of your blades on the glass-slick ice. To be drafted number 1? Well, that's where the fairy tale finally catches up to the farm boy. It's the holy grail at the end of 1,000,000 miles of highway. It's the silent, tearful, we made it, shared with a dad whose truck heater never worked and a mom who spent a lifetime sewing patches on worn-out hockey socks. It is the absolute shimmering pinnacle of a mountain made of sacrifice. When that jersey drops over your shoulders, it's not just fabric. It's the weight of every early morning, every bruise, and every heartbeat of a kid who dared to believe that a frozen pond could lead to the bright lights of the big time. It's pure, beautiful, heart-stopping magic. Ah, yes! To be drafted first overall in the National Hockey League entry draft. Today, let's talk about 1991, when Eric Lindros was drafted by the Quebec Nordiques and reacted like they just handed him a sweater made of poison ivy. He refused to sign, refused to play, and basically treated the city of Quebec like a dental appointment you accidentally forget for 12 months. Why the snub? Lindros claimed it was about the market and owner Marcel Aubu, but he looked like a kid refusing to eat his broccoli because it didn't have a Nike logo on it. He sat out a whole year. Sitting out a season in your prime is like buying a Ferrari and leaving it in the garage because you don't like the color of the upholstery. Quebec finally traded him to Philly for a haul of players so big the Nordiques moving truck needed its own zip code. It worked out for Quebec. They turned one grumpy teenager into a Stanley Cup in Colorado, while Eric learned that you can run from a jersey, but you can't run from a body check. The Toronto Maple Leafs struck gold in the lottery, and everyone's shouting for James Higgins like he's the second coming. But hold your horses. Between the confetti, the controversial is an understatement with the hiring of John Chaika. It's a 3-ring circus in the front office, and the clowns are running the show. My biggest fear? It'd be a crying shame, a flat-out tragedy if Higgins looks at this dumpster fire, pulls a Lindros, and says, thanks, but no thanks. If you can't get the suits in order, don't be surprised when the talent decides to stay home. The Leafs are on the clock, and the ticking sounds a lot like a time bomb. Back this afternoon on the Jason Gregor Show, this is Cam Tate, Sports, 1440.
Episode number 22 for the Tater. You know, it's funny. Why do some people think that, maybe not some, Duke, maybe a lot of people think that somehow the Leafs are going to mess this up? Like whatever it could be. Maybe they make the pick and McKenna doesn't turn out to be as good as someone at 2, 3, 4, whatever, or they trade the pick, or they move down, or something happens now and Matthews leaves town. It's just, no one has a lot of faith in Toronto right now. Text 833-401-1440. Greater Man Jay said, because I was saying about Eddie Steele driving around doing some work. Greater Man Jay says, the real deal, Eddie Steele driving around town trying to find a microwave that he's not banned from. Do you think, I wonder if they're going to end up having like a sign, a picture.
Well, Eddie pushes back on this. He says, what did he say at our buffet dinner on Friday? He's like, I did some surveying.
Yeah.
And then he follows it up. I asked 2 people, or maybe even one person, I think he said that, yeah, he when he went and got a water while his stuff was nuking in the microwave, and he asked the person behind the counter, he's like, do you care? Do you care if I came in and didn't buy anything and just warmed myself in the microwave? And he said, yeah, they don't care. But I don't know if that's it's
not the truth.
I don't know what's the truth. I also don't think it's the point.
What was my response? And I said it on the air once.
You once again ran it back with, maybe let's just, put it maybe a little more politically, like a physically intimidating presence like Eddie comes in and you're the poor, teenager working behind the counter at the local convenience store. You're gonna be like, hey, you can't do that. Get out of here. I don't think so.
Like if our old intern walked in.
Sam, if Sam the record man came in and be like, hey, I'm about to nuke this tune in your microwave, they'd grab him by the back belt loop and the scruff of his neck and heave him out the door like he's yesterday's slop.
That's right. But Eddie comes in and there's like, oh, yes, Mr. Steele. Yes, Mr. Steele.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, just put it in there. And you know what? I'll even figure out if you need power number 4 for your 2 minutes or whatever. No, not even close. When we come back, David Schlimco's in the house. We've got a fair bit to talk about with Schlemmer, Oilers, playoffs, everything. Because last time Schlemmer was in, the Oilers, the following day, were eliminated from the Stanley Cup. So before that, time now for a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Sean Cunningham of Remax Real Estate. Get the home team advantage for your next move in the Edmonton area. If you're thinking about buying or selling a home, call or text Sean directly at 780-265-0165. That's 780-265-0165. Here is the Duke.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Lone game in the Stanley Cup playoffs last night. The Avalanche beat the Wild 5-2 to open up a 2-0 series lead in their best of 7. Avalanche now with 12 different goal scorers through 2 games of a series, setting a new playoff record. Off the ice, draft lottery going last night from New Jersey, and the Toronto Maple Leafs have the balls fall their way. They jump to the number 1 overall pick. Projected top selection, Gavin McKenna, winger out of Penn State University. Rest of the top 10 in order. San Jose wins the second draw to jump up 7 spots to number 2 overall, followed by Vancouver, Chicago, the Rangers, Calgary, Seattle, Winnipeg, Florida, and Nashville rounding out the top 10. Also last night, the NHL announcing its finals for this year's Calder Trophy for the league's top first-year player. Islanders defenseman, last year's first overall pick, Matthew Schaefer, followed by the Canadiens forward Ivan Demidov, and Ducks winger Beckett Seneca are your top 3 vote getters. In the PWHL last night, marathon affair, triple overtime it took, but Montreal beat Minnesota 1-0 to tie that series at 1 game apiece. And it's official. As of this morning, the PWHL announcing that Detroit will be their next expansion franchise. Ownership being taken over by the same group that runs the Detroit Red Wings. In the association, pair of game 1s in the second round. Cleveland losing to Detroit 111-101, and Chet Holmgren leading the way, 24 points for the OKC Thunder as they top the Lakers 108-90. In the majors yesterday, the Blue Jays dropped the second straight in Tampa against the Rays from the Trop, 4-3 the final. Elsewhere, Baltimore beat Miami 9-7. The Red Sox topped the Tigers 10-3. Dodgers fall to the Astros 2-1, and the Seattle Mariners, they lose to the Braves 3-2. Coming up in hour 3 of the Kevin Karius Show, we'll be joined by former NHLer, and our Wednesday co-host, David Schlimco. I'm Brandon Douglas at your Sports 1440 update.
This is Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
Your protein drink should work as hard as you do. That's why Booster Juice is hitting the gym harder than ever, brother. Meet your new gym buddies, the Way Too Good and Green Gains Booster Mixers. 2 new ripped and refreshing menu options that bench some serious protein. Perfect for pre or post-workout. Way Too Good and Green Gains Booster Mixers taste like motivation. So what are you waiting for? Let's go!
Booster Juice. Canadian born, blending since 1999.
What's that? Is that actually spring? Like no snow squalls or bad weather tomorrow? It's actually spring? Well, GS Construction welcomes the warmer weather because that means we can really get to work. Now, it doesn't matter if there was bad weather. This is our time to shine. But we can't do it without good people to do that work. That's why GS Construction is hiring pipe layers, topmen, and heavy equipment operators. If you want to join a team who loves their work, visit gsconstruction.ca today.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at EdmontonExpoCenter.com today.
At Hughes, it's all about getting in and out quick and clean. No cash, no problem. With Hughes' new tap and wash system, all you need is your debit or credit card to get your vehicle sparkling clean.
Find us at HughesCarWash.com. Increase resistance to stress and support memory enhancement with new Roots Herbals Ashwagandha. Find it at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of every month. To ensure this product is right for you, always read and follow the label.
The longest running basketball show in Canada airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk, and it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
For over 60 years, the folks at Diablo Boots have been selling the best Canadian-made boots. Handcrafted in Winnipeg, Canada West makes the best quality cowboy, biker, and work boots for Diablo Boots with replaceable soles and heels. Why buy cheaper quality like Ariat, Justin, and Red Wing made in China when Canadian-made is better? Support Canada's workers and Diablo Boots for the best boots. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Canada West and Diablo Boots, the two best names in the boots business.
Hi, it's Dennis from Weiss Johnson, letting you know that we'll be hosting our 14th annual charity golf tournament at the ranch on June 2nd in support of the Edmonton Down Syndrome Society. So far to date, we have raised over $325,000 that goes directly to fund various programs for this amazing organization. With your help, we hope to make this our biggest and best tournament to date, all to support a worthy local cause. To join us, please email me today, info@weiss-johnson.com. I'll get right back to you.
Just in time for the morning skate. This is the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program, 9:01 in Edmonton. Kevin Karius, Duke of Delburne, and Josh Fenwick with you here on a Wednesday morning, which means at this juncture, we welcome in our co-host on Wednesdays, former NHLer David Schlimco, powered by Cougar Paint and Collision, where family service and pride have earned customer trust for decades. Check them out at cougarcollision.com. Good morning, Schlemmer.
Morning, KK.
You're doing okay after our lunch on Friday? Eddie Steele couldn't handle her.
I'm doing better than Eddie, yeah.
when he texts out an extra large bottle of Pepto-Bismol.
That's a tough one.
You know, I don't know, man.
I
thought he'd be able to handle it.
He ate a lot. I think he ate the most out of us, but he's the biggest guy. So
SKS, before we even got there, he had 2-3 plates.
I mean, he kind of made the experience. I gotta say, like, he was so excited for it.
Stupid Maitre D introduction about everything. Oh man,
he brought the excitement.
Yeah, he did. No, and that was good. And you know what? On Friday, we're golfing at Leduc.
Oh yeah,
that's his home track. So Eddie and SKS against Duke and I in a match.
Oh baby, what's on the line?
I don't know. Maybe a trip to the
another round of plates at the Szechuan Castle.
I don't know
if Sean has his way.
We got to worry. We got to talk about this strategy for Friday, Duke. I don't know what game we're playing.
So I was going to say strategy. I'd like to know even what the format is.
It's probably just best scorer and then whoever.
How's SKS on the course?
Well, who knows? I mean, between him and Eddie with the foot wedges, you know.
I played with Eddie last year. He was pretty honest.
Was he?
Yeah.
Where?
On the course? Yeah. I don't know. I guess I wasn't watching that close. It's not like we were playing a match or anything.
Ever since we called him out, Duke, I think then he has really cleaned it up.
Oh, this has been an issue.
Well, we went out and then I know we were on 14 at the ranch, and I don't know. Well, Duke and I saw the whole thing, and he said, "Well, what did he say? 3 or 4?" And it was like, well, he was in the bush. He tried to get out 3 times. Then he kicked it out. And then, you know, it was probably an 8 or a 9, something like that. But
okay.
Mark me down for a 3.
People don't forget.
No. So we just bug him more than anything. Man, let's go all the way back to last week.
What's happened, eh?
I mean, the whole week has been crazy because we talked about it a little bit at lunch on Friday, but since the last time you were on the show with our listeners, I mean, since then the Oilers obviously lost in game number 6 last week to Anaheim, and now Anaheim's down 1-0 to Vegas. I think we'll see a little different, maybe not a different Anaheim team. I think we'll see a different result tonight against Vegas.
Yeah. I really liked Anaheim's start in game 1. I thought they came out and they're playing their game, and you know, by the third period, Vegas they'd start to grind them down a little bit.
Yeah. So if you were to wrap the Oilers Ducks series in a nutshell, and then you hear some comments after, you know, when you've been doing this job here 2.5 years plus here, Schlemmer. So, you know, we've talked about where the team was for 2 Stanley Cup playoff runs previous, where they're so close. And now you hear what they say after, and what's your take, I guess?
Well, it's tough, and you know, talking to a lot of people around town, there's a lot of negativity, and you know, it's kind of to be expected. We talked at lunch the other day. Look at where this team was 2 years ago in the Stanley Cup final, and I don't think they're really even close to that club. Yeah. Right? I mean, you look at a guy like, and it's easy to say now, like in hindsight, it's always 2020, but you look at a guy like Broberg now. He might be our number 1 D heading into next year.
It's not crazy to say that. Like, I mean, obviously he would put up the points that Bouchard is, but he's more reliable in other areas.
Right.
And you could depend on him in certain instances and stages of games.
Right.
It's not crazy to say that.
And now you look at, you got 16-2-5 locked up with Nurse and Wallman last year or next year, who didn't wow us at all this year. You're looking up front now, and you've tried to plug some holes with some reliable veteran guys the first go around. You tried to do it with some young guys the second go around. Neither's worked. We still don't have a number 1 goalie. You know, I really enjoyed kind of the candor from Leon and Connor. I thought that was excellent. I thought they both hit the nail on the head, and honestly, I think there's got to be some accountability somewhere in management on what has happened over the past 2 years.
It's at all levels here.
Yeah.
It's at management. It's at coaching. It's with your star players. It's with your bottom 6. It's with your entire defensive core. It's with your goaltending. There isn't an area where things don't need to be analyzed, talked about, discussed, and decisions made. So I want to throw this one at you, Schlemmer, because the more I thought about it and the more it made sense to me by what he said, and both of them. And I think you're talking about Connor and Leon.
Yeah.
So Connor and Leon both basically said, well, we took a step back and it's a concern. It's a concern because we're not where we were before. And I understand that comment 100%.
Oh, yeah.
But the comment, and now when I look back at it, before the playoffs and leading into the playoffs, Connor McDavid said, well, the regular season is monotonous for this group. And then when I thought about it more and more, and I thought about, how they performed in the playoffs, I went, okay, you guys cheated the regular season. You cheated. You cheated the regular season in the sense of you didn't prepare and have that process where your game needed to be.
Right. I couldn't agree more.
So
you can't just flick a switch, first of all. And I mean, if anyone in the world can, it's those two guys. But you got to think about all the young guys that you've brought in this year and how to kind of build that culture and prepare these guys going into the playoffs. They haven't been there.
So, like when you're coaching and you're coaching these young guys, and you see it because you always say, what are the young guys? They cheat for offense. They want to put the points up. They want to do this. They want to do that. And when they cheat for offense, what happens?
You get scored on.
Yeah. And we've seen that story for years now. So until that, and I'm not saying that, even in the 2 years prior, because they went on 17 game runs, 2 years prior, they had an 8-game winning streak. Last year was way different than this year, where there was no, this year again, there was zero traction either way.
Even in the regular season last year, I don't think many would have predicted how well they did in the playoffs. I don't know if maybe they were able to flip the switch last year in the playoffs. Maybe it was just before, but they sure seemed a lot closer still last year than, you look at the group right now.
It's funny how when you say that, because if you think about game number 4 against the LA Kings last year and how things could have went the other way.
That's true. That's a great point. Yeah.
Think about just think if LA would have won that series. Just think if Quentin Byfield gets the puck out instead of Bouchard keeping it in on a lucky play and then scoring within 10 seconds and then scoring in overtime, and scoring again when it's a bad, not in overtime, but it's a bad coach's challenge.
Sure. That's situational, I guess. But for me, it's the entire play. Last year, I still believe that, Connor, and maybe that's something to do with the injuries, but Connor and Leon, when they went out there and they were going to elevate their game and turn it on, they were going to take the game over. And I was just waiting for that to happen this year, all 6 games, and it just didn't, right?
Never happened at all.
They played in their own end most of the play.
You could talk about in game 4, I guess, Connor had a couple of, really hard cuts to the net.
Yeah.
Didn't score.
But you're kind of thinking okay, he's back.
It's coming. But then, if he says he's got a fracture and that's, and he
totally understandable.
Totally understand. And not only that, but again, he said, the first explosive starts, those are the ones that hurt him. And that's his game.
Yeah.
That's his game.
But do you think knowing that Knobloch maybe overused him a little bit? I didn't know his foot was broken, but I knew he couldn't stop. There's so many flybys in the D zone where he's just poking at pucks and kind of hoping. Is it the best idea to have him out there playing 25 minutes a night, playing in his own zone when he can't stop?
Yeah, game 5, I'd never understood the usage in the last. And again, the one power play at the end of game 5 was irrelevant.
Yeah.
And they basically played most of it.
Yeah.
All they didn't do anything. So there's 2 minutes there. So that knocks him down to 22 or whatever. But again, I think when Dickinson is as banged up as he was, and then Leon is as bad, there was nothing there down the middle.
Yeah.
You got Szymanski is healthy and that's it.
Right.
There's nothing there.
Yeah.
So I don't know. They were behind the 8 ball when it came to the level of play that they could try to perform at.
Yeah.
With those guys being so hurt.
And watching this Colorado mini series now, it's very evident that they weren't going any farther.
Well, I still think that, honestly, I think they could have beaten Vegas.
Yeah.
But if
that's true. So, they would have had Vegas first.
Right. I think they could have beaten Vegas had they gotten past Anaheim.
These first 2 games of this Colorado, it's the best hockey I've watched in years, man. That game 1 was unbelievable.
9-6. I didn't like it as much because it was crazy. But last night, and I mean, in a microcosm, the hit on Boldy at the end by McKinnon is like, this is big boys against whatever else.
He introduced himself to the series last night, man.
McKinnon
he was a monster out there.
He's a freight train on a passenger train. Like,
That's a good way to put it.
like passenger trains are big and heavy, but freight trains what happens on the railway is if there's a line that needs to be taken, the freight train takes the line. The passenger train waits.
Yeah, he's a big boy. And he's got the foot speed to go with it.
And I mean, his center of body gravity, and I mean that hit on Boldy again, and I mean his release, his skating. I mean, and he's so dialed in. I mean, I watched the post-game interview, and I think it was Reynolds, the guy that's out of Winnipeg, and I mean, he's still
so intense.
Yeah, he talked about the 100 games and being, with Mario and Yager and all this, and Lemieux and
doesn't care.
I didn't know, and I mean, but he gave the right answer.
Yeah,
whatever zone they need me in and whatever. But if you look at down the middle, there isn't a team that's even close to Colorado. There's no team.
They're so deep.
That can, when you got Nazem Kadri at 3.
Yeah. And that fourth line, it's been unbelievable.
I mean, Kelly can play center, and now he's on the wing. And Drury's at center right now. So, and like Brock Nelson's your 2C.
Yeah.
And he had a hell of a year. And he's playing in all zones.
They're so deep, man. I don't know. Like, for me, that game 1 was just so fun to watch. Maybe as a defenseman, I guess. Watching Hughes and Makar, it was just like it's almost like watching a video game. Like, one guy would do something sick, and the other guy would be like, okay, watch me now.
No, I get you. I guess to me, it just sort of got so out of hand. But here's another thing, and we had Tom Reed on yesterday. He does color for the Wild, and then there was a shorthanded goal. That made it 5-4 by Foligno.
Nice tuck by Foligno too. Didn't see that coming.
I was like, okay, well, they can win this now. And then all of a sudden it was like, bang. Colorado says, no, you're not coming near this. I saw the little, not a stick tap, but a me on the replay of the Makar yesterday on the Kaprizov goal. It was 6-7.
Loved that.
Yeah. And he goes, hey, that was all me. Cause he just got mesmerized by the puck and just left his side.
Well,
just describe that.
If you watch the intermission, BX actually broke it down perfect. So it's just a 2-on-2 off the draw, right?
Mm-hmm.
Center on center. D's are stepping up on the wing, and Makar was doing a good job. He's kind of mirrored above his winger there. And then it looked like the centerman kind of mishandled the puck a little bit. So he went to go fishing for that puck, left his guy, and bang, bang.
And again, how many times the first thing that I said, well, if Bush would have done that, then people would be all over. And not a whole lot was said about it. Like, I know BX broke it down.
Yeah,
and then it was great.
Louis talked about it on the replay after. I mean, I think the thing for me with that was like, I haven't really seen Bouchard take some ownership, kind of accountability like that. But I mean, it might get old. He'd be doing it every 2 games. So,
what do you think of Kulak last couple games here?
I think he's been unbelievable. Like, so good. I think they're saying Bednar's praising him.
Yeah.
Just like the great professional, a great defender. Just focuses on what he does well.
I'm gonna see. So his,
played 25 minutes in game 1.
I mean, it technically is. I mean, that trade is going to be going down as can't even talk about it anymore. But I mean, with his contract situation, I just wanted to make sure. So he's coming 33. So he's a UFA.
He's going to get paid.
Do you think he gets
finally?
Yeah, I mean, but as a 33-year-old, does he sign because he's the kind of guy that can play 4 more years? No.
Oh yeah. Just skates so effortlessly.
So I'll tell you what, I haven't even looked how old Cody Ceci is, but he's going to be getting the same as Cody Ceci got in LA, no?
Yeah, I would think so.
So I think Cody Ceci was 4x4, if I'm correct on that one. I have to double check on that one. But when Ceci signed that deal, everyone was like, what's going on? 4.5.
Yeah.
And they're the same age. 4.5.
And I think Cooley's got a lot more runway left than Ceci.
Yeah, I would say too. Different different type of player.
Exactly.
But,
Right.
I mean, I wonder where he lands. I wonder, like, because I mean, now at this point, you're like, well, I want to win, obviously, and he's got a great chance to win here with the Colorado Avalanche.
I mean, yeah, I'm not sure. You'd think he'd want to go somewhere he'd have a chance to win after getting that close a couple times.
Yeah. Well,
Maybe
I mean,
3
and
times.
who knows
Now,
if
he could win this year.
He wins this year now. I mean, he's been so close. You think about the players he's played with here, man. So
Yeah,
in a
no
matter
kidding.
of a year, he's played with McDavid, Draisaitl, Crosby, Malkin, McKinnon, Makar.
Not bad, eh?
That's insane, isn't it?
Have a few nice second apples.
Oh, that is so good. That's so good. Montreal and Buffalo finally get going today. And again, Carolina's halfway there in the Eastern Conference semifinal. So finally, what do you think about this series here?
I think it's going to be unreal. I think it's going to be just as good as the Tampa series.
Mm-hmm.
Two young teams, exciting teams going at it.
Yeah, it's a great story, whoever it is that gets through this round.
Yeah, it
'Cause
is.
If Buffalo gets through, people are going to be just jumping in the States.
Yeah.
And especially in Buffalo, obviously.
Oh,
I think
especially
it's
in
a set-
Buffalo.
Like, I don't know, like when you were playing in Buffalo back then, like it was probably, again, they haven't been in the playoffs for so long.
Yeah, it wasn't like that. No. Even like the Bills Mafia thing hadn't, I feel like, taken off as much as it is now.
Mm-hmm. Heffy text and KK, you and Brad are just going around and around with the Oilers. I don't know who Brad is, but is that you, Schlimmer, I guess?
I guess so.
Oh, Brad. The Oilers need new management, including Jackson, all new coaches, plus 4 or 6 new players. Well, what else do you want, Heffy? Holy cow. Why don't you just get an expansion team here? The lottery, too, we touched on it a little bit in Toronto getting this. And, I mean, McKenna is, I don't know how much you've watched these other guys, but I know you know McKenna.
Yeah, I know. I'd say I know most of the top 10 a little bit. You hate to see it for the, I don't know.
I
for the
know.
Leafs. Like, I mean, hey, they should have learned 10 years ago, right? 10 years ago, they got Matthews. So hopefully they learned a thing or two about building a team.
Like in Phoenix and Chayka was there.
Oh, God.
Okay, well, just looking at Slemmer's face here.
Well, I don't know if you guys caught any of the Spit and Chicklets episode with a couple of my former teammates, Jans and Biz, talking about it. But,
Yes, I did actually. I saw it. I didn't see the episode. I saw the minute and a half.
just
where
like
both
the clip or whatever.
where
So
both of them.
obviously, any of us who played with Shane Doan think very highly of him,
Yeah.
and we're pretty shocked when all that went down
So
in Phoenix.
a lot of people don't exactly know the story, and I don't know if you can tell the whole story or what. But I mean, some people are saying, well, Shane Doan was done at the end. He was 40 years old or whatever, but it was how it was handled and everything. So maybe
Yeah.
just-
So I had just left kind of, I don't know, half a year before all this happened. So this was kind of just word of mouth how it got back to me. But basically the story was that, Donor has been in this franchise longer than anyone. He was there when they were with Winnipeg. He's, the best leader ever, everything, best human. And so the story was that he went to management or to someone in the organization.
Well, it'd be Chayka.
And said like, hey, I'm here, my family's here, I'd love to be a part of it, I'd like to help out in any way, and was kind of just told thanks, but
See
no
you later.
thanks, we're starting something new here.
Oh man.
And that just doesn't
Well, you don't do
sit
that.
well with any of
No.
us.
Well, I mean, and again, this is a guy, as you said, day one from Winnipeg to there, and probably the main reason that hockey succeeded to a point.
Yeah.
Because of everything that he did, not just on the ice, but off the ice. So,
Yeah, it's a tough one, especially with Donor being in Toronto now.
well, I don't know for how long.
Well, I don't think it's gonna last
Yeah.
long, right?
Yeah. I can't see it happening, but
Yeah, I mean, Donor's a great guy. I don't know. I don't know. I wouldn't be able to get over that one
Mhm.
personally, but
yeah. Text 833-401-1440. Duke, again, we're going to have coming up, Randeep Janda covers the Vancouver Canucks at around 9:30ish. Is that what we're looking at? What do you 9:25? Okay. So, you know what we'll do? Maybe we'll take a quick break here, regroup, and then we will talk a little bit more about the text that we've been getting, as well as some other stuff around the NHL with our co-host on Wednesday, David Schlimco, the former NHLer. It's the Kevin Karius Show with the Duke of Delburne and Josh Fenwick on Sports 1440 AM radio. We're streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
At Cougar Paint and Collision, family incorporates everyone.
I mean, the staff at Cougar are the cogs in the wheel. If you've got one or two wheels that aren't rolling with the other one, then you're not going to have a smooth operation. Everybody that we have at the shop really enables us to continue to help Edmontonians. We just try and help people get their cars back on the road, and it's the people that work for you that are going to allow you to be successful.
Cougar Paint and Collision, our family helping your family.
You see it? Fusion Promo Marketing can make it. Fusion makes high-quality, memorable promotional products for businesses, sports teams, and corporate events. From vision to reality, get noticed and remembered. Fusion with a Z. Promomarketing.ca.
Today on Hey Culligan, how smart is your water? Here's Tracy.
Hey Culligan, I think my water might be dumb.
Good news, Tracy. Your water's not dumb. It's just not talking to you.
You can make my water talk.
No, but the new Culligan Smart Drinking Water System can talk to your phone to tell you when your water filters need changing and help you meet drinking water goals.
Now that's some brilliant H2O.
You said it, Tracy, and we're already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test from a local Culligan water expert at culligan.ca.
Want home ice advantage for your window coverings? Novo Blinds provides factory direct pricing and the fastest turnaround in the city for homeowners, builders, and commercial projects. Book a free in-home consultation at novoblinds.ca.
Build stamina and relieve fatigue with new Roots Herbals Energy, a well-balanced formula with D-ribose, astragalus, and ginseng. Find it at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of every month.
McValue meals are here. Get the McD's you love for $5 plus tax every day with your choice of a McDouble, junior chicken, or chicken snack wrap with small fries and small fountain drink. All for just $5 plus taxes. At Canadian restaurants, product availability varies. Prices exclude delivery.
Start thinking spring road trips and off-road trips in your new Subaru Crosstrek. Stylish, rugged, and so many features. Standard on every Crosstrek. Subaru symmetrical all-wheel drive, EyeSight driver assist technology, heated seats, and LED steering responsive headlights. Plus, with interest rates from 0.99%, you'll love the affordable weekly payments. No waiting, immediate delivery available. Subaru Crosstrek. Visit Subaru.ca. Welcome to Uncommon. Welcome to Subaru.
Your favorite teams, your favorite sports. This spring, catch all the action at Selly's Sports Bar and Lounge. Never a bad seat in the house. Plus, the perfect playoff menu with something for every sports fan, including daily food and drink features. From great goals to thrilling three-pointers to huge home runs. Spring brings the best to the big screens at Selly's Sports Bar and Lounge at all 3 Century Casino locations, Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile.
Every day is game day at Century Casino.
Debt can take over your life. The stress, the constant worry, it can feel like you're drowning. When people come to see me, they're often anxious and feeling hopeless. But when I explain how I can help them get out of debt, those feelings melt away. I'm Parveen Middleton, licensed insolvency trustee at BDO here in Edmonton. I will create a personalized debt relief plan so you can move forward with confidence. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to discover your debt-free future.
Running a business is tough. Finding new customers shouldn't be. Stop chasing leads. Let them come to you with Stingray, offering you access to more digital, outdoor, and traditional advertising platforms, including radio, connected TV, search and social, programmatic, digital advertising, and digital out-of-home. So while you're closing the next deal, Stingray is working for you to deliver more leads, more customers, more sales. It's that easy. Get started now at stingraymediasolutions.com and always be closing.
Stories, guests, and insights. This is Sports 1440 and the Kevin Karius Show.
All right, welcome back to the big program. 9:26 in Edmonton. Time to talk a little Vancouver Canucks hockey draft and everything else with Randeep Janda, Canucks analyst. Good morning, Randeep. You're with Kevin Karius and the former NHLer, David Schlimco. Thanks for coming on Sports 1440 this morning. Really appreciate it.
Good morning, guys. Nice to be on in Edmonton as well when I get the opportunity.
Oh, going to be good conversation here, Randeep. And I mean, just give us the overall feeling in Vancouver where I would imagine so many fans were hoping to have the lottery balls fall the Canucks' way, but they didn't, and they go and drop from 1 to 3 here.
Yeah, the overall feeling. I was at a watch party last night that we were hosting here for a radio station, and it was the immediate feeling was like a punch to the gut. I think there's a lot of folks that obviously didn't feel good about not winning the lottery. And listen, the Canucks had the highest odds. They're most likely to get the third overall pick just with the way the percentages work. But they're also the most likely team to win the lottery. But on two fronts. You're disappointed you didn't win the lottery, but on top of that, guys, you know better than I do. Anytime the Leafs win anything at the expense of another Canadian team, that always hurts as well. So it was a double whammy in here in Vancouver.
Yeah. So, I mean, I assume everyone thought that, it was going to be a kind of a Gavin McKenna, selection. What kind of direction do you think the organization is going to go now, Randy?
Yeah, I think there's a couple things to watch for here. Obviously, with the number one pick, Toronto, McKenna makes all the sense in the world. But that number 2 pick with the Sharks is the one that could be the game changer from Vancouver perspective, because Ivor Stenberg is the player that everybody has kind of locked into number 2. But this is a loaded San Jose team that has a lot of forward depth. So if they go for a defenseman, which is what they need in the short term and the long term, you're looking at a Keaton Verhoff. You're looking at a Chase Reed, perhaps going to San Jose. And I think it's not all that bad for Vancouver. Like, they need 4 or 5 impact players. Covering Vancouver Canucks hockey over the last 2 or 3 years, guys, it's been evident that this team needs game breakers, quality players, but they need probably 4 or 5 of them at the top of the lineup. So you don't win the draft lottery this year, but number 3, you're still going to get a very good player. Now, the question is that a winger in Stenberg, or is that going to be a defenseman like Chase Reed or Keaton Verhoff, right foot, a right shot defenseman, but he's got a, 6'5". Any team would love to have a player like that. So they're still going to get a good player. It's just a matter of, you feel like you get a high impact game breaking forward, or, is it going to be a slightly different profile? So all things, being said, I know there's disappointment in Vancouver, but they need players in the top 3 of the draft, and they're still going to be able to get a really good player.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a strong draft. They're going to get a great player. Obviously going to need a GM to draft that player. How's that process going? I'm seeing that the list has been whittled down from 15 to about 5. Any idea who they are?
Yeah, so there's been, conversations about, Evan Gold, who's the Boston Bruins assistant general manager. There's been talks of Pierre Dorion. There's been talks of Ryan Johnson, who's been a longtime executive. Now, whittling down exactly who those 5 are, because the Vancouver Canucks have, had a pretty, thorough conversation, as you mentioned, 15 names. So we don't have confirmation as of right now, but, some of those individuals I mentioned have been in Vancouver for in-person interviews. So we'll see. Now, the conversation is general manager and president of hockey operations. Are you going to hire both? That was the structure previously. Are you going to go for a general manager taking on all of those responsibilities? One thing is for sure, Jim Rutherford has talked about as of yesterday that he's going to move into an advisory role. He's going to be an alternate governor. So the day-to-day operations will be going away from Jim Rutherford, which is big, right? Patrick Alvin was the GM, but everything still ran through Rutherford. So there will be a pretty seismic shift. Now, Rutherford's timeline is next week. He did say they hope to have somebody in place next week. So it's going to move pretty quickly here, gentlemen, but there is still a sense of mystery of, okay, you've given interviews to certain people, but nobody really knows who I think the favorite right now is. If I had to put money on it, I still think, Ryan Johnson, who's the local, he's been in this organization since 2013, former player. He's been kind of seasoned in this management group. I still think he has a role, but, we've heard the name like a Shane Doan as well. So there's a lot of names that have popped up in this search.
Randy Janda, Canucks analyst, with us on the Kevin Karius Show with David Schlimco. Would it be fair to say, Randy, that, and again, Jim Rutherford's going to be changing his kind of job title and maybe what exactly he does with this organization moving forward. But would it have been fair to say that he was pushing all the buttons when even Patrick Alvin was here? And how does that change moving forward?
Yeah, he was very involved. And I think, Patrick certainly had a lead role, but when we're talking about the biggest moves that were made during the tenure of the regime, let's go to the Quinn Hughes deal. Bill Guerin was pretty upfront about his conversations were with Jim Rutherford. They weren't with Patrick Alvin. He was handling that one. Jim was very public in the conversations around the JT Miller situation. And when we know, obviously, the two-star players, Elias Pettersson and JT Miller, didn't get along, that obviously had effects on the room. Jim was the one that was really talking about that. It wasn't Patrick. So no doubt that Jim Rutherford was, in a lot of ways behind the wheel. Now, in terms of what does that change moving forward, from the sounds of it, Jim's going to be more involved on the business side. So whether that's representing the Canucks at potentially Board of Governors meetings as an alternate governor, he has that responsibility. The Canucks are, trying to build a practice facility here, more on the business side of things. Rutherford is going to take the lead on that. Whether it's off-season prospect tournaments or a training camp, he's the lead on that. He's mentioned that. So him staying around, at least in the short term here, it does imply he's taking more of a business approach rather than the hockey operations. But he did mention that he would be there as a resource for the new general manager, the new leadership, if they wanted it. But certainly a step back, guys. Day-to-day operations, everything in the building, everything in the hockey operations perspective ran through Jim Rutherford. It certainly sounds like that won't be the case anymore, as Vancouver is going to, we'll see. Like, there's been a lot of conversation about, do you bring somebody in with experience? Do you bring in somebody who's maybe a fresh face? You guys know as well as I do, running a team in a Canadian market, it feels like it's more and more a two-person job than it used to be. So I'm curious to see, how much they commit. It does feel like, to me, you do need somebody in the senior executive role, kind of like Toronto did with Matt Sundin, and you need somebody in a hockey ops role as well. But we'll see what Vancouver does here, because it feels like we're hearing a little bit of both, but no real clarity on what that will mean for Jim Rutherford.
Interesting. You know what? Just looking at the depth chart here, very young, not going to lie, some names that I don't even know. But, moving forward, taking a look at the veteran group here, what guys do you think are going to be, staying around, being a part of this core, and then maybe a veteran or two that are maybe expendable?
Yeah, I think some of the players, we'll start at the top of the lineup. You look at a Brock Besser, he's somebody that's, committed to Vancouver. He's made it clear that he wants to be in Vancouver. This is the first time he's going through a rebuild, and it seems like he is ready for it. So I think Brock is one of those players that later on in the season as well, he showed when he's healthy, he can still, put up points. The question is, can you get him consistency alongside a center? And, the center position is really weak for the Vancouver Canucks right now. Another, that's one player I can certainly see as a veteran sticking around. Now, there's a couple that I'm not sure about. And I think Jake DeBrusk, obviously, he's got Edmonton connections. This is a player that I think he's a great person to have in a room. I love having conversations with him, but this is a guy that's used to winning, used to being in the playoffs. This year was tough for him. And I do wonder, at $5.5 million for a guy that can score goals in this league, there's got to be a market out there. And if you're looking to, add more draft capital, add more prospects, I think Jake DeBrusk controls his own destiny. He's got a no movement clause, but is that a player that might be interested in a move to a winning situation and you're able to get some value for him? And the elephant in the room, guys, is Elias Pettersson. Right? I was saving the best for last, because the most obvious conversation where you're the $11.6 million man, and Teddy Bluger was first line center down the stretch, and Elias was almost getting third line 5-on-5 minutes, which is not ideal when you're making the big money. So now the question is there a market for Elias Pettersson? I don't think so at that dollar number. I think you're going to have to hope that kick the can down the road for another season or half a season. Because I think if you're trading him right now, you're trading him at a loss.
Yeah,
right? You're retaining a lot of money. So you're hoping that, the last 2 years were not what you saw. And you're hoping that maybe he can tap into, slight improvement. And two-way game is there, but offensively, he's not the player he was. He's not shooting the puck. He's not moving his feet the way he was before. And, I think there's a lot of people in this city that would like to see Elias Pettersson maybe move on, maybe a new situation would work for both team and player, but doesn't seem to be any value out there. So that's probably a player that stays in Vancouver as well.
Well, Go ahead, Schlimmer.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Like, you're not going to get enough back for him right now. It's almost you almost have to have him like the Elias Pettersson 2.0. But it's how do you get there, right?
Well, would you not say, and you can both answer this, Randeep and you, Schlimmer, do you not go to the player and whoever the manager is, the GM goes and says, "Listen, if you want out of here, you've got to play better so we can move you." Because we can't move you because you're not playing well enough for us to move you.
Yeah, I think with Elias, and a lot has been, communicated publicly, and I'm sure it's probably times 10 behind the scenes. It goes back to Rick Tocchet. Even, his slump really started, I think, at the end of the Travis Green tenure. He had some peaks with Bruce Boudreau and Rick Tocchet, but it's been, 4 coaches at this point, guys. So those conversations have happened. It's a matter of, can you figure it out? Can you sort it out? And the biggest issue for, I think, Elias over the last 2 years, and Jim Rutherford has not been quiet about this, is preparation. David, you played in the league. Obviously, this is, a 365-day league now where guys have to come into shape. They have to come into ready to play. I was talking to Taylor Hall last week, and he basically said, Carolina's different. Like, he's a player that's always in shape, but you got to be really ready to play for Rod Brindamore. Otherwise, it's not going to be a long tenure in Carolina. Like, that has been lacking from Elias over the last 2 seasons, and Jim Rutherford has been very clear about that. He needs to prepare better. So, I think those conversations have happened, Kevin, as far as you have a no movement clause, you have to up your own value, or at the very least, you have to be a better Vancouver Canuck. Now, with Elias Pettersson, he said all the right things, but I think Vancouver as a market is essentially saying, yeah, we've heard this before, and we're going through a rebuild. We understand you might not have to rush this player out of town. He's got to recoup some value, but we'll believe it when we see it. And that's unfortunately where the situation is right now, because, you need this player to play better, A, for your team, or it's B, for trade value. And right now, the last 2 years, his point pace is he's hovering around 45 to 51 points, which is not what you want as an $11 million player.
Yeah.
What about on the back end? How are we feeling about Zeev Buium after pretty much a full season?
Yeah, Zeev Buium, I thought early on he showed flashes. He had a goal and assist in his first game in the NHL, and then you could maybe see him kind of trying to play a little conservative. Maybe you kind of overthinking it. But guys, I want to say the last 2 or 3 weeks, we were starting to see, okay, this guy does have that puck moving ability. He can skate from his own end, to the attacking end. The zone exits, entries, just effortlessly, and his ability to dance on the offensive blue line, like those things started to pop up more and more. And I think we started to see it actually when he started to play with Philip Hronek, because you've got a solid D partner next to you. That they're going to be able to control, the defensive side of things. So there was certainly progress. I think with Zeev, the biggest thing is just understanding how much time you have. Sometimes the game, especially early on, it was players close real quick, especially if you're, handling the puck more than he was in Minnesota. And the other aspect is when you're playing with another defenseman that might be offensively minded, decision-making is so important in this league. When to pinch, when to back off, knowing if somebody's going to be, help out and rotate when you're taking that chance. Or is your defensive partner taking, pinching? Because if there's 2 guys going in deep, you're in a difficult situation. So I think just the awareness of understanding what a top pairing defenseman or, a second pairing defenseman requires, that, ice time increased significantly. That's not easy on a young player as well. So I think there was, good play, certainly some growing pains, but he's going to be a very big part of what the Vancouver Canucks do here, right? I think more than anything, you need a couple of players that can help them out with puck movement, because that was the biggest issue with Vancouver. Breaking out the puck, making passes was a real challenge. So it's who can you get in that lineup that can also take a little bit of stress off of Zeev Buium as well.
Randeep Janda with us, Kevin Karius, David Schlimco on Sports 1440. You said the elephant in the room, Randeep, would have been Pettersson, and I agree. But what about Thatcher Demko? I mean, he's going to go up to 8.5 next year. You would have $13 million with the 2 goalies in Demko and Lankinen, both no moves. I guess the biggest question with Demko is, can he somehow stay healthy here?
Yeah, and Thatcher is, in his end of season availability, he did talk about how he's feeling better after that hip surgery that he recently had. It just felt like, okay, now we finally gotten to the main issue that he was having. But we'll see, right? Like, this is the thing about Thatcher. When he's on the ice, when he's on his game, he's one of the best goaltenders in the NHL. We're a couple of years removed from him being essentially a runner-up in the Vezina voting. But, when he's on the ice, and a couple of things here with Thatcher Demko, I think he's a very competitive player. He will want to be out there as often as possible, but there's also when is too much? When do you need to give yourself a rest? And there was a couple of years where he was playing 64 games, he was playing 51 games, and he was stealing games for this team. And unfortunately, the body broke down after that. So I think with Thatcher, if he is healthy, this team, they're in a rebuild. We know, if more than anything, it gives you options because they've got Kevin Lankinen, they've got Nikita Tolopilo, who they have to make a decision on as well. I believe he is going to have to hit waivers next year. So, you carry 3 goalies potentially next year, or you send Tolopilo down and you risk him on waivers, which I don't think is what this team will do. So with Demko, the high end, the ceiling is there. We know that, we've seen it. It's just a matter of, is his body good now, or is it still going to continue to break down? Because it's been tough to watch also. Every time we walk in there, he comes back from rehab. You can tell there's a real want from this player to be out there. He knows that he would be able to elevate this team, even if it's a couple more victories every season, guys. But, unfortunately, this is what, goalies deal with. It's a high stress position, and it doesn't make it easier when your team's eating a lot of pressure, right? Mm-hmm. In zone, if you're not making saves, you're still in position, you're still tracking the puck. And for a team like the Vancouver Canucks over the last couple of years that hasn't had success, that's a lot of stress for a goaltender. And unfortunately for Thatcher, his body broke down, and you hope that he can come back to camp next year actually feeling well. We've heard that he's felt well in the past. It hasn't been followed up by, a strong stretch of games. But, I think moving forward, this does feel like it's kind of like it's got to happen or it's not going to happen. Like, this feels like it's, in a lot of ways, in a Vancouver Canucks jersey anyways, the final stretch. So hopefully it works out.
Hey, Randeep, thanks so much for your insight. Really appreciate it. And thanks for coming on. We'll see how the draft goes here for the Canucks and who they selected 3. Really appreciate you coming on. Thanks a lot.
Thanks very much, guys. Never a dull moment in Vancouver, but, I think we're looking forward to the draft because, as you know, you can find some good players and certainly bring some drama as well. I'm sure that number 2 pick, that San Jose, is going to be a game changer in one way or the other.
Exactly. Thanks, Randeep. Take care, man.
Take care, guys.
That's Randeep Janda, Vancouver Canucks analyst. When we come back, we're going to go in or out with David Schlimco. Also coming up in the 10 o'clock hour, Stu Cowan from the Montreal Gazette and the Hockey Inside Out podcast covers the Montreal Canadiens. And you remember Stu from your days there?
I remember Stu.
Yeah.
Good
Stu,
dude.
Disco Stu. I don't know about that, but Kevin Karius, David Schlimco, Duke of Delburne, I'm Josh Fenwick on Sports 1440 AM radio. We're streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Would you like to be a part of history for the month of April? I'm kidding. Or as the kids say, bro, I'm joking. Would you like to help us set a record in April? Chill. Still kidding. At Northgate, we aren't trying to set any records or tell you how many vehicles we sell, and we really don't think you'd care. But what you will care about is this. Every dealer has the same costs. Trust me, GM does not have a favorite kid. You get to decide where you buy. 0% financing, a great selection, and of course, great people. Stop in and see us today. 13215 97th Street or business online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
Your protein drink should work as hard as you do. That's why Booster Juice is hitting the gym harder than ever, brother. Meet your new gym buddies, the Way Too Good and Green Gains Booster Mixers. 2 new ripped and refreshing menu options that bench some serious protein. Perfect for pre or post-workout. Way Too Good and Green Gains Booster Mixers taste like motivation. So what are you waiting for? Let's go!
Booster Juice. Canadian born, blending since 1999.
A lot of you love hockey season. But when it comes to construction season, You're not as excited unless you work for GS Construction. It's true. As one season is winding down, ours is winding up with all sorts of great projects to make the city we live in better. And our team is hiring. GS Construction is scouting for pipe layers, topmen, and heavy equipment operators. So if you want to score a great job, visit gsconstruction.ca today.
Are you looking for safe and reliable transportation solutions for your wedding, corporate retreat, or golf trip? Look no further than Silent Rides, Alberta's premier charter bus company. Whether your group is big or small, Silent Rides has you covered. We offer 3 different sizes of units to cater to your needs, and we provide first-class service at affordable rates. Get your quote today. For more information and to request a quote, contact sales at 877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
Summer, it's coming. An unstoppable force that will turn your home into the Sweatbox.
Don't live in a summer blockbuster. Pro Solutions is your one-call solves-it-all expert for AC repairs, tune-ups, and new installations. With fast appointments and flexible financing, we'll make sure your home story has a comfortable ending. AC season is coming soon, so book today.
Lock in pre-season pricing today.
Visit prosolutionsinc.ca to schedule your service today.
I've got some good news if you've been thinking about a heavy-duty truck. The 2026 Ram 2500 Black Express is now at St. Albert Dodge. You've got 20-inch black aluminum wheels, black Mopar side steps, body color, bumpers and grille, and a sport performance hood. Available in all the colors for $68,990. Plus, new this year, Ram's best-in-class 10-year powertrain warranty. Now's the time. Head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Increase resistance to stress and support memory enhancement with new Roots Herbals Ashwagandha. Find it at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of every month. To ensure this product is right for you, always read and follow the label. Build stamina and relieve fatigue with new Roots Herbals Energy, a well-balanced formula with D-ribose, astragalus, and ginseng. Find it at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of every month.
You don't just need property services, you need problems handled. HireGood provides cleanup, debris removal, site monitoring, and safety attendance across Edmonton. We reduce issues on your property, keep spaces safe, and take pressure off your team. We resolve real problems for businesses while creating real impact because our team is built on second chances and they show up every day ready to prove it. Visit hiregood.ca or call and mention Jason Greger for a first-time discount. HireGood. Stable jobs create stable lives.
Your game, your station. Sports 1440.
And watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
All right, welcome back to the big program. 9:50 in Edmonton. Time now for a little in or out, brought to you by Pro Solutions. You know what? At Pro Solutions, if you need fast air conditioning service, this is the place to be. Pro Solutions offers expert repairs, tune-ups, even installs with flexible financing. Book your appointment now at prosolutionsinc.ca.
Okay, you know what? Moving too fast. Bottom line, are you in or are you out?
In or out of what?
No time for questions, just action. In or out?
Well, then I'm out.
I'm sorry, Jet. Actually, you're already in.
Are you in or are you out?
On Sports 1440.
I thought you would go, I'm in, Bob. We would have had a really cool moment, but you kind of ruined the whole thing.
All right, Duke Letterbuck.
Starting off with some Oilers talk. Surprise news yesterday, both Evan Bouchard and Darnell Nurse going to be heading over to Switzerland to join Team Canada for the upcoming World Championships. Between the two, listen, of course, Oilers fans want to see both players play well, represent their nation, come home with some hardware. But if we're just picking one of the two, I think the Oilers and the fan base would prefer to see number 25, Darnell Nurse, have a standout performance over the course of the tournament.
Go ahead, D-Man.
Well, I'm sure they would, but I wouldn't hold my breath. I do think this sets up a little better for Evan Bouchard's game. especially for like veteran players. I've never been, but from what I hear, it's not quite as serious for these older guys. It's more of like a vacation trip. They take their families over, stuff like that. But back to the hockey, I just don't see it for Darnell. Why would he be better on the big ice for me? He's got more time to hang on to the puck, look for a better option. That never turns out well. More ice to flex out and find F3 in the D zone while we're swimming in the paint.
He's a great skater. That lends itself to the open ice. Big ice.
I think he's gonna be better than you think.
Okay.
Because no one else is trying.
Well, I mean, Darnell's a proud guy, man. You know? So here, just a quick sidebar to you, Schlemmer. I would assume that you would start this tournament with those two guys playing together.
Yeah.
I mean, they played together here.
They have, yeah.
So, I mean, if you're the coaching staff, and I don't think players would say, "Hey, I'll come, but I got to play with Boucher." Bush would say,
"No, I don't think there's any of that." Well, I guess Crosby said he wanted to play with Celebrini, but that's a little different.
But I see them starting this tournament together as D partners.
Yeah.
So there's some familiarity there. I'm probably going to go in. I think just with everything, there's way more outside noise with Darnell, way more compared to Bouchard. Because what's the conversation with Bouchard? Is he a Norris Trophy finalist? That's the conversation here.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, if that's the conversation, I think that's just fine.
Yeah.
Now the conversation with Darnell is how are you going to be able to get rid of him and his contract?
Yeah.
So then I'm 100% in to say that the Oilers organization and even fans would like to see what Darnell does at this tournament.
Yeah.
So I would be in for sure.
And you're kind of in my line of thinking there, Kev, with if the Oilers decide that they want to approach Darnell Nurse and ask him to waive his no trade clause and find a way to move on from this contract at this time. Well, this is a chance for them and Darnell to boost his stock a little bit if he can go over there and play really well. I mean, I do think that his reputation around the league is pretty much, I think it is probably better than it is here in Edmonton because people love to dog him here and he's a huge scapegoat because of the contract. But he's still a capable player. He's not a perfect player. He's probably number 4 on a really good team or maybe a little bit higher on a weaker team. Skates well, big, has a lot of elements that people like. Go play for Team Canada. And listen, this isn't an Olympic team, but it's still going to be a very good assembly of talent. You're surrounded by good players regardless of who you're on the ice with. Perform well. See if all of a sudden there might increase or improve the likelihood of someone being willing to accept this contract. And in the context of it's a real trade and not a please take this. What do we have to do to get you to take this?
You know, every player on this team is going to have to look like the Oilers team. Will be looking at themselves in the mirror. How can I do better? Everything, whatever it is. Like if Darnell Nurse is here at the start of the year next year, be mean, be angry, be so such an SOB to play against, and your play is going to improve so much.
When he's like that, he's so good. Like he's like gets somewhere near that contract, but I don't know. I don't see it. Like I don't care if he's the MVP of the World Championships. I don't think anyone's taken 925 for 5 more years.
Well, it turns into not the same, but it turns into how the Blackhawks got rid of Seth Jones, right? So now it's manageable for Florida. So
okay,
Chicago's eating 2 more for the 4 or 5 years here. Florida's paying 7. So that's how
it's the way that it's probably going to have to flesh out. Is that like it's hard to envision a world where a team takes the remainder of it at full freight, but at least maybe you can net something in the return for the trade because no matter how you slice it, this is a guy that plays every night in your top 4, even if you don't love his game every night and eats a lot of minutes in a lot of situations. So you can't just give him away for nothing.
Yep.
NHL's draft lottery went last night. The Maple Leafs, big winners. They jump up to number 1 overall. Expected to choose Gavin McKenna at that spot. Some bad feelings around the rest of the nation. Vancouver, Calgary, right, Josh? Guy came in just heated this morning. Poor Josh Fenwick.
Like he comes in.
He doesn't say a word. He just comes in and be like the bleeping Maple Leafs. He's fired up. This is a fun long term. Whereas we finally know the order. Let's give our initial mock draft of how we see the top 5 shaking out. I'm going with McKenna at number 1, followed by Chase Reed, the defenseman out of the suit, Caleb Malhotra Ivor Stenberg, and Keaton Verhoff at number 5.
Interesting.
Very
Are we supposed to
interesting.
run like who we think will be top 5 or our own top 5?
Well, that's up to you, Schlemmer.
Yeah.
It's your world, buddy. We're living in it.
Okay.
So, Schlemmer, you don't like Reed at 2.
I don't, just because I've only watched him for 2 games, and those were the top prospect games, and I didn't think he was very good. So for me, I would have McKenna at 1. I'd have Stenberg at 2. Probably Malhotra at 3. And then I would have Daxon Rudolph and Verhoff 4 and 5. I still think Rudy's going to be
Rudolph.
the best.
Yeah.
I still think he's going to be the best D out of all 4 of them.
Wow.
Look at what he's doing right now. He's leading the dub in playoff scoring. He's just getting better.
It's funny because I said, how far when we had Steven Ellis on from Daily Faceoff at 7:20. And I said, because this playoff series is going to be a telltale because, Everett's got a hell of a team. We're going to see, and that starts Friday.
DuPont too, yeah. That'll be fun to watch.
I mean, this is going to be a really good series.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it. The guy that's jumped up the chart to get to top 5 from last year or whatever is Malhotra. He's the only centerman here. Duke, you're like, I think I got Stenberg at 2 as well. I don't have Reed at 2. So for me, and I mean, I don't know what it is about Carson Carroll's here, but there's something about him.
He's right there too. He's really good.
There's something about him that I want him on my team. And we talked about it in the break. He's not going to the draft. He's not going to the draft because he's staying on the farm. Here's his quote right now, what's going on. Well, and this is a couple weeks ago. I think calving season's over, Duke, eh?
All depends on the operation.
Whatever. Right now, we got about 5 to 10 calves born a day, so you got to tag all those calves, make sure everyone's fed, make sure nobody needs help calving or anything. Right now, we're doing a little bit of field work. So the other day, I was in the tractor for 12 hours. It's long, but it's good. All the goats, they kidded already, and we got a lot of little kids jumping around, so it's pretty cool to see.
The Western boy, eh?
Yeah. And this is in Manitoba. He says, I don't know if I could say what the craziest cow story is, but it's pretty dangerous. Sometimes when cows have calves and you got to tag them, you kind of got to run away with their calf to get away from them because they beeline at you. It's pretty scary, but it's worth it when you get the calf all healthy and everything. So, and he's not going to the draft in Buffalo. So
that's your guy.
These are the guys I want on my team.
Yeah.
So I'm putting him in the top.
I really like Carroll's too. I think him and Rudy are very similar. I just think Rudy's got a little more offensive upside, but Carroll's probably skates a little better.
And he's, what's fun? I saw like everyone, Matthew Schaefer is unbelievable. We all know that.
Oh yeah.
But when I saw him, yesterday, because he was doing the very beginning of the draft, and you see how slight he is. And I don't know how he got through a whole season here. You know what I mean, dude? And then you see a guy like Carroll's here, and
like each of these top 3 defensemen.
Yeah, I mean, Verhoff is huge.
Verhoff, Carroll's, and Reed are all at least 6'2", and Rudolph, I think, too, right? He's 6'2", 6'3".
Yeah.
They're all big dudes, man.
I mean, Verhoff, I can see, like, there's been so much about Verhoff, and, like, he's a great player, but I can see, like, a little bit of growing pains with him, maybe, like, first-year pro. Like, he doesn't quite know what he is. He kind of overhandles it a little bit for a big guy. Like, he wants to be offensive. I could see him maybe taking a little bit longer, but I could be wrong. They're all great players.
My biggest thing here is with San Jose, they have Dickinson on the back end, right? And maybe he's their top offensive looking guy. Do they maybe go else? Because up front, I think they're have to be happy with where they're at. You can never have too many, right? That's the old adage. But with the forward group they've collected, I just think that they don't go best player available and do a little bit of best player that fits the need, which is a defenseman. Which D-man that is, maybe it's to be determined. But I think, and then Vancouver build down the middle, and I think Chicago will find themselves incredibly fortunate to land Stenberg at 4th overall because a lot of people think he could be the best player in the draft, but he's another smaller, albeit kind of gritty type winger. I just think that maybe that hurts him a little bit playing on the wing, as opposed to what we know about McKenna and how long this has been teed up that he's going to be the top player taken. Sticking with the draft lottery, listen, like the rules or not, think it's rigged or not. This current iteration of how we get to view it with the live balls being pulled, seeing the numbers, and especially last night, the odds change in real time on the screen, what numbers need to be good. I think the iteration of it as it stands, hey, it makes for good television.
It definitely does. Yeah, you got to be in on this one.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when I think of this lottery, I think back to the Austin Matthews one 10 years ago where, what's his name? Jeff on Overdrive, a former player. Jeff O'Neill totally like breaks his professionalism and does like a celly on the air, like a yeah.
Well, there are all those Toronto media where like it was crazy. They were all fired up.
And you think about the McDavid one too, where everyone here was saying, "Oh, why doesn't he look happy?"
he looks pretty sad.
Yeah, no, I get to be in, and it's funny the difference between this way and then doing the cards. You know, like how they,
because it used to be that they would do the lottery for it was like the same format, but it was done in a closed room with observers. I think the media people that were invited, they'd actually be sitting in almost like a gallery to see the balls pulled for, legitimize it and take any thoughts of it being rigged or favored out of it. But, actually getting to see the balls pop up, and it's just a little more dramatic, I think, than just turning a card over and waiting for the logo to show up.
Okay.
I like it a lot. I enjoy I don't know if I necessarily love the need to, it's TV, so you're still going to have commercial breaks, I guess, but it's like, we'll just let the balls pop around for minutes here while we jump out of commercial
the
break.
15-second. Okay, start the clock.
Yeah. So, hey, they do a good job, and hey, Gary Bettman at his finest there, working the lottery ball operator.
But I don't think the talk of this thing being rigged is going anywhere after Toronto wins.
No, it never
been
will.
going on for
it's
years.
It's just always whoever doesn't get their way. When the Oilers won the McDavid lottery after
Islanders moved up 9 spots last year.
Yeah.
It's whatever team doesn't win, they think it's rigged. It's just a matter of the fact. Sticking in the Stanley Cup playoffs now. Tonight's games, Ducks in Vegas will do game number 2, but we'll finally get the puck drop between Sabres and the Canadiens in the Eastern Conference. Simple series prediction here. I did not have the Habs getting past the Lightning in round number 1. They proved me wrong there, even if they didn't exactly put their best foot forward in game 7. I think the Sabres take this one. The surprise season continues. I'll have them taking it in 7 games.
Habs here.
This is a tough one, but I think I'm going to be out on this one. I'm gonna go with the Habs. They got her done against a 2-time Stanley Cup winning team, and I think the X factor is Marty St. Louis, man.
Yeah,
I really do. You watch the way he moves on the bench and the way he talks to players, and just how engaged the players are when they look back. It's almost like he's with them. He's not directing them. It makes me think of like Connor and Leon, man. Like if you had a coach like that, maybe the last couple of years, maybe that's what puts you over the hump.
Maybe they can get him and Cooper could come to it.
So 2 associate coaches.
This is such a tough one. I mean, I think I'd like to have the over-under Duke as 4, as in overtime games, where we maybe call it 3.5, I guess, or whatever. So I just think it's going to be so close. Montreal had a overtime games, so did Buffalo, in the series with Boston. So, oh man, this is a close one. It's a coin flipper. I'm just going to go Buffalo only because I said I wanted to see Buffalo move on and do as well as they possibly can after just the fact that they've never won and they haven't been in the playoffs for so
yeah. I mean, either team wins, it's going to be a good
great
story. Right?
Yeah, like one team that's going to the Final Four here, there's going to be a lot of people that are pulling for them.
Yep.
Finally, today is McHappy Day, Kev. We kind of touched on this a little bit earlier. Of course, any menu item purchased at McDonald's today is supportive of Ronald McDonald House. Families with sick kids across our country. They got some like specialty items that you can get as well, socks and little merch things to go along with all the great food options to partake in. Let's turn the clock back a little bit. Maybe for the 3 of us, less so for Josh, who's still living his best life at this.
Dude, you still do this? Don't even try.
Josh is in his early 20s. Yeah, I'm 31 years old.
When you read the rest of the question, you're still doing this.
Not as frequently.
Okay. Well, yeah. Okay.
It used to be I was doing this like 6 days a week. Yeah. So,
that's bad.
the ideal order when you're at McDonald's after a night out for some drinks. However many drinks that is, I'll leave it to your imagination and you determine for yourself. But I'm saying you got to double dip. You go the McDouble to get your cheeseburger in, but then you complement that with little chicken sandwich, the junior chicken. And if you're getting really adventurous, you put the 2 together to make the infamous bang bang.
Obviously, this is a drive-through because it's 2-3 in the morning, dude, right?
No, so a lot of them are 20. Like I know the one by campus, right on 109th Street by the U of A. the dining room would be open all night, and you see some stuff in there, man. Holy,
I'm sure.
You had some interesting cats, some interesting characters, a few fights as well. I was always observing, not in them. Not my speed. I'm not a McDonald's scrapper.
I'm going to be out on this one. I've definitely done this a time or two, but my play was always 2 double cheeseburgers, add Big Mac sauce to both.
That's a savvy vet move.
That's my go-to.
We've had people text in about that over the years,
and it's fresh because they got it's not been sitting there at all, right? Because it's a like order to
it's a custom order.
Made to order.
Yeah, made to order. No, I'm out too, Duke, because I used to do this quite often. Not quite often, but 20 some years ago, I would do it, and it would be a quarter pounder, Big Mac, the chicken McNuggets, and large fries.
Wow, he's hungry.
And then you'd leave them on your front step when you go around.
That was Tim Hortons.
To try and get in the back door.
That was the Tim Hortons.
Left it out there all night.
Well, I couldn't get in. I locked the door. Normally, I never lock the door, and I left. I got a cab home, and I had the chili and the sandwiches. And I finally found a key in the back. It took like 20 minutes to find it because I was so loaded.
Yeah.
But so now I get in the back door, and I'm like, man, am I hungry? So I made a big pot of spaghetti.
Did you still eat your
next morning?
Next morning?
I got the paper at like noon the next day, and there's all the stuff from Tim Hortons on the front.
Oh, yeah. You know what my play used to be when I was like 18, 19, still living with my parents? So you come home from the bar late and you throw a frozen pizza in the oven and you forget about it and pass out.
I can't remember if I've told this story before. We had a guy, this was when I was living in the frat house, and same thing. He comes home, puts a frozen pizza in, and he's like, I might pass out. So we had a speaker in the kitchen, or like a stereo in the kitchen that we plugged phone into to run some music. We're making supper and stuff. He's like, I'll plug my phone into here so the alarm will be extra loud. It will wake me up if I fall asleep on the couch waiting for this pizza to cook. Did not turn the stereo on, and as a result, sleeps through then the alarm doesn't go off at all because it's plugged into the aux cord, and the pizza there's nothing left of it by the time the next wave of guys gets home from the bar or whatever.
Black brick.
Just essentially disintegrated over the racks in the oven. So very, very good.
Oh, man. That's In or Out brought to you by Pro Solutions. You need fast air conditioning service? Check them out at prosolutionsinc.ca. Frank Saravalli reporting the 2026 Selke Trophy finalists as voted by the Professional Hockey Writers Association. Anthony Cirelli from Tampa Bay, Brock Nelson out of Colorado, and Nick Suzuki. Nick Suzuki, great year. I mean, he could win this award.
Yeah.
He could. Cirelli's good, obviously. I mean, great players. I mean, they all had great years. So,
yep.
Quick little segment when we come back before we get to Stu Cowan at 10:20. Before that time now for a Sports 1440 update. Brought to you by All-Star Construction. They shape and build Edmonton communities, specializing in underground utilities like power, gas, telecommunications, and street lighting. That's All-Star Construction. Here is the Duke.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Pair of games in the Stanley Cup playoffs tonight. Game 1 between the Sabres and Habs in Eastern Conference second round. Puck drop just after 5 o'clock from Buffalo. And then at 7:30, Game 2 between the Ducks and Golden Knights goes in Vegas. VGK up 1-0 in that best of 7. Just coming across the wire, finalists for this year's Selke Trophies, league's top defensive forward, have been announced. Tampa Bay's Anthony Cirelli, Colorado's Brock Nelson, and Montreal's Nick Suzuki are your trio of top vote getters. Confirmed earlier this morning, PWHL is headed to Detroit as the league's newest expansion franchise. Team ownership is going to be run by the same group that runs the Detroit Red Wings, the Ilitch family. In the association tonight, Knicks and Sixers go at it. Game 2 from MSG, tip-off at 5 o'clock. New York up 1-0 in the series. And the San Antonio Spurs try and draw even with the Timberwolves. They tip off at 7:30 in Texas. Finally, Major League Baseball today, full slate of games, including the Blue Jays wrapping up a set in Tampa Bay against the Rays. First pitch coming just after 11 o'clock for a matinee. Patrick Corbin on the bump for Toronto. It'll be Shane McClanahan countering for the Rays. Coming up in hour 4 of the Kevin Karius Show, we'll be joined by Stu Cowan from Montreal Gazette covering the Montreal Canadiens. I'm Brandon Douglas at your Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, the Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Increase resistance to stress and support memory enhancement with new Roots Herbals Ashwagandha. Find it at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of every month. To ensure this product is right for you, always read and follow the label.
Legacy Heating and Cooling jingle auditions, take one for Gene Principe. Hey, thanks for being on time.
I'm always punctual. Now, how about some cool beats while I drop the heat?
Ready when you are.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Nice.
Boom! I'm a musical genius.
Legacy's going to love this for AC season.
What's not to love with no interest and no Principe payments for 1 year?
Are you always like this?
Yep. Unlike Legacy, I never know when to cool it.
Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Getting your vehicle sparkling clean doesn't have to cost a fortune. Take it into Hughes today and pay just loonies a wash.
Find us at HughesCarWash.com.
There's still time to book your tournament at the Ranch Golf and Country Club.
As one of Alberta's top tourney courses, the Ranch makes hosting fun and easy for any group or business. No matter how unique or unusual, they'll accommodate your vision for an event no one will soon forget.
Start planning your tournament today at their beautifully landscaped course on the outskirts of West Edmonton. On-site event coordinators are here to help, but hurry, availability is limited and booking fast.
Visit theranchgolf.com.
The tents are up and the deals are out. The Brick's biggest sale of the season is on now. Take up to 60% off clearance items in the tents. Sofas start at $3.99 and save up to 50% on select mattresses. Get a sofa, coffee table, mattress, bed frame, and dining set, all for less than $1,500. Only at the Brick's tent sale. See in store for details and exclusions. The Brick, saving you more.
O'Hanlon Paving is looking for Finnish skid steer operators, Finnish grader operators, Class 1 drivers, and more to join their Edmonton road crew team. Bring your positive attitude and great work ethic to their job fair, Friday, May 8th from 10 till 3. Visit o'hanlonpaving.com/careers.
Have your sports curiosity cured with the Kevin Karius Show. This is Sports 1440.
The big program, 10:14 in Edmonton. Quick little segment before we get to Stu Cowan from the Montreal Gazette. Kevin Karius, David Schlimco with you here on Sports 1440 AM radio. Schlemmer's powered by Cougar Paint and Collision, where family service and pride have earned customer trust for decades. Check them out at cougarcollision.com. And just a little funny video came up, and who knows, it could be AI, it could be whatever. But they talked about the lottery balls yesterday bouncing around before the Leafs ball popped out, and you can see the number 8 ball that's ahead of the Leafs ball, which is the Winnipeg Jets ball. But again, it could be fake. It could be whatever. I don't know.
Who knows? It's always going to be a conspiracy.
Always will be. Who's your Selke Trophy winner, if you had to pick?
Out of the three, I think Cirelli is the best defensive forward.
Yeah.
But, Suzuki's right there too. Nelson was a bit of a surprise one for me, actually. He's not who would jump out when I think like top defensive forwards.
It's funny, and Suzuki was, he's a 50-goal guy.
Yeah, he does it all, though.
Nelson
look at that shot block at the end of the game the other night.
I am agreeing with everything you're saying here. I remember back in the day when the Selke Trophy would go to guys that had like 5-7 goals and stuff like that. That's just the way it went.
Right.
Like it was always Doug Jarvis and Carbonneau and all
Jay
these
Pandolfo.
Pandolfo. What did he have for goals? Do you remember when he won? Dude?
I remember the year when the Ducks were really good. Like Sammy Paulson was their checking center. He's third line center. Played with Travis Moen and Rob Niedermeyer. And this guy's up for a year into it. And hey, he was excellent. He was nails. A big reason they won the Cup in 2007. But I don't even know what his career high in goals would have been. Maybe double digits.
It's funny because basically the two guys that have owned this trophy weren't available this year. Barkov is the other.
Oh, Barkov, yeah. I'm just thinking back to like my generation. It was like Bergeron or Kopitar every year.
Kopi won in 18, 16, and I think that's it. But Brindamore won back-to-back, 06, 07. The other guy, Datsuk, is 08, 09, 10.
Oh, yeah. He
that
was...
pig Ryan Kessler got in 2011, Duke.
That pig.
Yeah.
Datsuk was so good at stripping pucks, man.
Bob Gainey, 78, 79, and 80. And then the guy that used to shadow Wayne Gretzky, he won it in 82, Steve Casper. But Doug Jarvis. Craig Ramsey used to coach here, was an assistant. but Carbonneau, another win in 88, 89. Another 92 for Carbonneau. Fedorov is another guy.
Fedorov won it?
Fedorov won in 94, 96.
Really?
One player who not many thought that would make the NHL, that was a key contributor to a lot of really good Chicago Blackhawk teams, Dirk Graham. And he was really good defensively. And another guy that back in the day is Yuri Lettinen, who was seen.
Oh, yeah, he was good. Dallas.
So when we come back, Stu Cowan, Montreal Gazette. We'll check in to preview the Montreal Canadiens Buffalo Sabres series. Kevin Karius, David Schlimco, Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick on Sports 1440 AM Radio. We're streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
At Cougar Paint and Collision, their family-first approach makes you feel like part of the clan.
We care about the shop because it's our name on the sign. And when you own a business, that is so important to remember that everyone you're dealing with is a human being, and they're going through something, whether you see it or not. What will make people choose you is how they feel when they leave your shop. People need to feel important. They need to feel heard. I think that sets us apart. It's really, really important.
Cougar Paint and Collision, our family helping your family.
The longest running basketball show in Canada airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk, and it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
Hit the throttle, open her up, and get rolling to Harley-Davidson of Edmonton's open house Saturday, May 9th. Enter to win a new Harley-Davidson motorcycle and get in on the giveaways and door prizes. Come check out a huge selection of new and pre-owned bikes, riding gear, Harley t-shirts, and more. Don't miss it. This Saturday, May 9th at Harley-Davidson of Edmonton on the Yellowhead Trail. Kent family owned and operated since 1980. Details at hdedmonton.com.
Hey there, I'm in the Fountain Tire sidecar, making a list of the things I'm doing this spring. 1. Saving you money, with up to 20% off select tires until June 13th. 2. Water skiing, tricky in a sidecar, but fun. And 3. Saving you more money, with mail-in rebates of up to $100 off a set of 4 select tires and $50 off a $150 service with the purchase of 4 select tires. Oh, that's 4 things. Oh well, restrictions apply. Book online at fountaintire.com. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
Whether you're refinancing or buying your first home, mortgages are easier with help from a neighbor. At Vision Credit Union, you get face-to-face guidance from local lenders who know the market because, well, they live here too. They'll look at your whole financial picture with practical advice for payments, renewals, refinancing, and what makes sense long-term. Get a more neighborly mortgage. Contact your branch today or visit visioncu.ca.
The Lawnmower Hospital.
Spring is here, and your lawn knows it. Get the professional grade cut your home deserves with Toro. The Lawnmower Hospital has the right Toro for the job, from the residential Toro Super Recycler to the high-performance zero-turn tractor for those larger properties. Shop now for exclusive spring discounts or 0% financing for 36 months on select units. Beat the rush and get your Toro in for service today. Visit lawnmowerhosp.com.
The Lawnmower Hospital.
Just in time for the morning skate. This is the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program, 10:20 in Edmonton, and time now for the game of the day, brought to you by St. Albert Dodge, where the 2026 Ram 2500 Black Express packages are here. They've got the 20-inch black aluminum wheels, black Mopar side steps, body color bumpers, the grille, sport performance hood to boot. See them at stalbertdodge.com as we welcome back Stu Cowan from the Montreal Gazette. Good morning, Stu. You're with Kevin Karius and the former Montreal Canadian, David Schlimco. Thanks for jumping on Sports 1440 this morning. Really appreciate it.
My pleasure. How you guys doing?
We're doing great. We're looking forward to this one. And after a few days, Stu, I think everyone's dying to get this series going. What's the buzz? What's the feel like in Montreal going into round 2 here, Stu?
The city is crazy. Game 7 against Tampa, they sold out the Bell Center for a watch party. One of the bars downtown has now changed its name to Dobus's after the goalie. Montreal restaurants are no longer serving Buffalo chicken wings; they're serving Montreal chicken wings. I mean, the city is just going crazy. I mean, there's nothing like the playoffs in Montreal, and it's full blown right now.
Well, you've been covering this team for a long time, but it's different. Times have changed. When's the last time it's had a feel like this?
Yeah, I mean, dating myself, I mean, I grew up in Montreal, and my 5 years of high school, the Canadiens won 4 Stanley Cups. It was like an annual event. You skipped school one day and you went to the parade. It's been a long drought since then. I mean, last Canadian team in the playoffs now, still the last Canadian team to win a Stanley Cup back in 1993. So you have a whole young generation of fans. I mean, no Canadiens fan under like the age of 30 or 35 really knows what it's like to have a Stanley Cup team in this city, never even just win a few rounds. I mean, the celebration downtown after the Game 7 win over Tampa was probably bigger than it was, or almost as big as after some of the Stanley Cup wins, especially back in the dynasty years when it was sort of expected. So you have a young fan base that is just starving here to have a team with a Stanley Cup, possibility of winning a Stanley Cup. And after beating Tampa in 7 games, I picked Tampa to win that series in 6 games. I just thought the experience factor, you had Vasilevsky going up against a rookie goalie in Dobush. I figured it would be too much for the Canadiens to handle, but they got through it, won every game by 1 goal. All the games were decided by 1 goal. And I think Tampa was a tougher challenge for them than what they're going to face against Buffalo.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you there, Stu. I mean, they got through an actual test, right? That first round, fast, physical, tight checking. Well, good goaltending. Anyways, so what type of series do you expect with the Sabres?
I think it's going to be the same. I mean, goaltending always is a key, right, for any team going to the playoffs. And Dobush was just outstanding in the first round. The biggest reason, I mean, Game 7, they had no shots on goal in the second period. The first time that's ever happened in Canadiens history during a full period of a playoff game. They also won by getting 9 shots on goal, the fewest shots on goal ever to win a playoff game. So I think goaltending would be a big difference. I think another big difference is the Sabres defense is huge. Like their smallest guy is like 6'1", 200. The Canadiens have a couple of small defensemen in Hudson and Carrier. And big defense wins in the playoffs. You look at the Panthers the last 2 years winning the Stanley Cup with a huge defense. So that's going to be, I think, the biggest challenge for the Canadiens is just the size of Buffalo's defense. Tampa Bay was able to shut down Cole Caulfield, a small guy during the first round. He had 1 power play goal and only 12 shots on goal during the 7 games. So I think the biggest factor going into this that maybe Buffalo has a bit of an advantage is just the size of their defensemen.
Yeah, they do have a big decor. Relatively young, though, maybe a little bit inexperienced. How do you think the Habs can get to them?
I think the experience the Habs got last year getting in the playoffs and losing to Washington in 5 games was huge. Buffalo was 14 years, they didn't make the playoffs, so there's not much playoff experience for them. So I think that experience factor, and as Marty St. Louis said, the 7 games against Tampa, they were all Game 7s. I mean, every game. I mean, Game 6, 0-0 going into overtime. That's one of the most exciting hockey games I've ever seen without a goal scored. And Tampa ended up winning it and forcing Game 7. And at that point, you're thinking, man, the Canadiens have won 2 out of 3 in Tampa already. They're the youngest team in the playoffs for the 2nd straight year. They're going into Tampa. Are they really going to win 3 out of 4 in Tampa in this series? And they did. And the fact that they're starting this series on the road in Buffalo, I think works to their advantage because the Canadiens have been a better road team than a home team all season for whatever reason. I think it's, it's a young group. This as a player, young guys on the road, they bond together, they hang out together, meals together. There's a real brotherhood on this team. So I think it actually works in the Canadiens' favor that they're starting this series on the road. And I think that's the reason why, after Game 7 against Tampa, the Canadiens were supposed to fly home the next day, practice in Brossard on Tuesday, and then fly to Buffalo yesterday. But instead, they kept the team in Tampa. They had a day off Monday. They practiced yesterday, and then they flew to Buffalo. So I think Marty St. Louis really wanted to keep the guys on the road, keep them away from the distractions at home. Quite a few guys in this team have young babies. Jake Evans has young twin boys, so I'm sure he's not sleeping much when he's at home. So I think that's part of it. So I think they're a young team. They enjoy being together, and I think actually starting on the road is actually an advantage for the Canadiens.
Stu Cowan from the Montreal Gazette with us on the Kevin Karius Show with David Schlimco. Have to talk about a local product here in Kirby Dock and what he went through in that series. Just a remarkable story from, when he's in the depths of being as down as a guy can get to being at the very top of the heap. Just a remarkable performance for him and good on Marty St. Louis to stick with him. So maybe just a thought on what you felt about Kirby Dock's performance in that series too.
Yeah, it's been a rough ride for Kirby Dach since he came here with all the injuries and everything. And then I think it was game 2 where he had the icing near the end of the game, and then he didn't cover his man on the following ensuing faceoff, and they scored. And it got so bad on social media that Kirby and his girlfriend both had to shut down their Instagram accounts. It was just crazy. We all know what a cesspool social media can be, and people were out attacking Kirby Dach. But the next game during the pregame warm-up, the Canadiens fans started chanting Kirby, Kirby, Kirby. And it just shows, you can't really judge fan bases by the people on social media. The Canadiens fans, it was really heartwarming to see the way they welcomed Kirby Dach back. And as I said, I mean, he just can't avoid getting hurt. And the amount of games he's missed through injuries. He came back that game. He scored a goal. He played a great game, his first game back after that warm reception at the Bell Center. He's a key guy for the Canadiens moving forward. As I mentioned earlier, they're not a huge team. They need size up front. They need him to play like the 6'4", 200-pound guy he is. Be physical, be hard in on the forecheck, and he played pretty well the rest of that series against Tampa.
Mm-hmm.
So looking back at the first round, any adjustments collectively as a team do you think that they need to make? And secondly, just individually, is there anyone you think needs to raise their game heading into the second round?
Well, I mean, the top 3 forwards, Caulfield, Suzuki, and Slafkovsky, combined for 1 even strength goal in the entire series, and that was Suzuki in Game 7. They need to shoot the puck more. I mean, this is a team that they're a real fancy team. They like to throw the puck around and pass the puck around, and it's a lot of fun to watch, and it works during the regular season. They need to play more of a north-south game, and they need to start getting pucks on the net. I mean, to go an entire period in a playoff game without getting a single shot is remarkable. To actually win the game is even more remarkable. But the 2 goals they scored, a deflection by Suzuki that then hit a Tampa defenseman off the butt and went in the net. And then the winning goal, Alex Newhook from behind the net batting a puck out of midair, and it goes in off the goalie's butt. So, you know this. They've been in playoffs. There's not a lot of highlight reel goals in the playoffs. A lot of them are sort of garbage goals. You got to go to dirty areas. You got to throw pucks at the net. So I think the main thing the Canadiens need to do, both at 5-on-5 and on the power play, they scored 3 power play goals in the first game, all by Slafkovsky. Then they had 2 the rest of the series. They got to just start throwing pucks at nets, throwing bodies in front of the net, crashing the net, and trying to bang in rebounds or whatever. It's going to be harder against Buffalo with that big defense, but they need to get more shots on goal.
Mm-hmm. The Montreal Gazette's Stu Cowan with us on Sports 1440. When Noah Dobson returned in the series, how much did that help, especially on the PK where, for the most part, they went with Matheson, Carrier, and Caden Gooley, another local product, to kill. But how much is that return meant to the Habs?
Yeah, that was huge. I mean, Dobson was one of the key players for this team all season. Big offseason acquisition from the New York Islanders, logs a lot of minutes. Big body, not necessarily physical, but uses his body well. And as you said, very good on the PK. That was a big thing for him coming back. And the way he played after having the broken thumb, they hadn't played in 3 weeks. And I thought he played really well in Game 7. He just sort of adds stability. But having said that, the Canadiens defense stepped up with him not there. It was Jaden Struble and Arbor Jacki, who have battled all season for that 6th spot, rotating sort of who's been the healthy scratch. And the 2 of them played really well. Marty used them well, limited minutes, maybe about 10 minutes a game. But they didn't do it. They played within their abilities. They didn't try to do too much. They got the puck out. Arbor Jacki played physical, led the team in hits in the series despite missing Game 7. So the entire defense core stepped up. But Noah Dobson is a big part of this team, and he's one of the reasons why I picked Tampa in 6. I figured the loss of Dobson was just going to be huge.
Yeah.
What do you think we see as far as matchups, Stu? And I'm thinking maybe Deneau versus the Thompson line, but that Norris third line on Buffalo with Doan and Benson has been good as well. Maybe we see a strength on strength. What do you think?
Well, I heard you guys talking earlier about Nick Suzuki, and the defensive role he plays. He's more their defensive shutdown center now than Deneau is. I mean, Deneau, protecting a lead at the end of the games and big faceoffs, he's out there. But Nick Suzuki, I mean, last year I gave him my 3rd place vote for the defensive forward Selke Award, and I wouldn't be surprised if he wins it this year. I mean, maybe I'm biased a bit just because I see him play 82 games a year, but he's so good defensively. People look at the numbers he put up this season, 100 points, but he's so good defensively. So he'll be, Marty St. Louis said one of the reasons that his top line didn't really produce offensively against the Lightning is because they were also shutting down Tampa's top line. Kucherov only had 1 goal in that series also.
Good
so,
point.
I mean, he's in a position where they have Nick Suzuki, who is a top offensive point producer, but also their best overall defensive centerman. And Philip Danault has said that, when they went to the Stanley Cup final in 2021, Danault got all the big matchups, but he's not at that point now. I mean, he's sort of the secondary guy in the matchup game.
Stu, last year when Washington beat the Habs in that opening round series, they tried to run them out of the building for the most part, and a lot of times they were successful. I think, is it fair to say Tampa Bay tried to do that, especially in game 2 in this series? But Montreal didn't fall for the banana in the tailpipe here, and they got some guys that responded. How critical was that, did you feel, in the success that Montreal was able to beat Tampa Bay?
That was huge. And I think, speaking earlier about the lessons they learned last year playing against Washington, that was one of them. I mean, Tom Wilson ran wild. That hit on Alex Carrier, that was one of the biggest hits I've ever seen. I'm surprised Carrier even was able to get up afterwards. Carrier sort of blamed himself, saying he didn't realize Wilson was on the ice. I think he had just come off the bench on a quick change and he got caught. But I think they learned that. And Tampa tried to do that again. But the Canadiens, Marty St. Louis has said all year, and they've proven them right in that first round series. We can play any kind of game you want. You want to play a wide open flowing game, we can play it. You want to play a physical game, we can play it. You want to get into the scrums and all that stuff, we can do that too. And they showed that during game 7. And for the youngest team in the playoffs, that's really, really impressive. I mean, they have some tough guys. Josh Anderson, I call him playoff. There's regular season Josh Anderson, who drives fans crazy at times. And then there's playoff Josh Anderson, who the fans absolutely love. He's not a fun guy to play against. Hits everything that moves, hard on the forecheck. He can fight. Remember last year in Washington, he ended up on the bench fighting Tom Wilson. Caden Gooley's a tough kid. Jaden Strubal's a tough kid. Arbor Jacki, who was a healthy scratch in game 7, and looks like he'll be a healthy scratch again for game 1. He's another guy. So they have physical presence, the Canadiens. So they won't be pushed around. And as Marty St. Louis says, whatever kind of game you want to play, they're ready to play it.
I'm interested to see if Dobish can keep his game where it's at and do it again in round 2 here. I really enjoy watching his interviews. Obviously, English is the second language, but he just seems really honest. It's coming from the heart. What kind of personality is this kid?
You nailed it. I mean, he's so honest that the Canadiens actually shut him down from speaking to the media for a little while in the regular season. I don't think they liked a couple of the answers maybe that he had. I've sort of joked he'd be a great Seinfeld character if he was a goalie playing for the Rangers as Kramer's roommate. He's sort of got, goalies are a little quirky, and so is he. I wrote a column that's actually on the Gazette website now yesterday, talking with Pete Fry, who's a goalie mindset coach and has worked with Dobish, and just the interesting about the mental game and how much that is for a goalie and how he's helped Dobish get through that. But he's playing with a lot of confidence now, Dobish, and the players realize that. Maybe a little too confident sometimes when he wanders out of the net and plays the puck, which can be an adventure from time to time. But for a rookie goalie to come in and play the way he has, one of the turning points in the season too for the Canadiens was at the end of January when they fired their goalie coach and they brought in Marco Marciano from Laval. They fired Eric Rameau, and Marciano had worked with Dobish in Laval, and they have a good relationship together. And once they made that change, I mean, it's rare. I remember Mark Bergevin fired the goalie coach in the middle of a game back in the day when Carey Price was struggling at one point. But it's rare to see a goalie coach get fired late in the season. At the time, Jeff Gorton said they weren't planning to bring Raymond back next season, so they figured we may as well fire him now, give him a chance to find work elsewhere. But since Marciano has come in, Dobish is, before that he looked at times like sort of like a road hockey goalie in net. He'd be flopping all over the place and sort of losing his net. But since Marciano's come in, he's much more technically sound, and I think that's huge. He's got the mental game. He's shown that. But technically sound, he's going to be really confident now because Vasilevsky is one of the goalies he really looked up to coming up. And speaking with Pete Fry, the mindset coach, he said the night before game 7, he keeps wanting his guys to have sort of an end picture in their head, like, how is this going to end for me? And he worked with Dobish on how it's going to end with you shaking hands with Vasilevsky after game 7 and him wishing you luck the rest of the way. And that's exactly what happened. And so he's going to be riding that high right now about, not only beating Tampa Bay, but beating a goalie that he looked up to coming up, and whatever Vasilevsky said to him in the handshake line afterwards is probably exactly that. Good luck moving forward. So Dobish is on a high coming into the series for sure.
Man, is he ever? And I mean, the playoff series with Buffalo's top of mind, but GMs are always thinking about what lies ahead, and they can start negotiating with him. After July 1, has that ever even been broached to talk about something longer term with a guy that that could be leading them to maybe a longer playoff run here?
It hasn't really been spoken about yet. And they also have Jacob Fowler, who has been considered the goalie of the future since they drafted him. He's been the backup. Sam Montembeault hasn't even dressed in the playoffs. So they got 2 young goalies. And, for Dobas, she was the 5th round pick, the 2020, I think it was, they drafted. He was the 13th goalie taken in that pick. And you look at teams struggling with goaltending, like the Oilers. There he goes, the 13th goalie taken in that NHL draft, and look what he's doing now for the Canadiens. So
you got to bring up stuff like that.
I mean, he's just a success story. He played 2 years at Ohio State University, which is no more for football than hockey, right? But he's a fun guy to be around, and this whole Canadiens team. There's so many young guys in this team. They've got they're a good group. I mean, Kent Hughes and Jeff Gorton have spoken about how they look not just for good hockey players in this rebuild, but good people. And they have a lot of good people in that locker room, and I think that goes a long way.
Yeah, we get enough about Jacob Wallstead here, trading down in the draft a few years back. Never mind. So,
well, highlights also what a crapshoot the draft can be, right? I mean,
for sure.
True.
Stu, thanks so much for your time this morning. Enjoy game number 1 tonight, rest of the series, and hopefully we can talk to you soon. Thanks for coming.
Okay, guys, my pleasure.
That's Stu Cowan from the Montreal Gazette. Our game of the day brought to you by St. Albert Dodge, where again, the 2026 Ram 2500 Black Express is on the lot. Check them out at stalbertdodge.com. Yeah, there's enough with Wallstead. No, don't need Dobas.
Yeah, no, we don't.
But 12 goalies picked. And again, Fowler's right there.
Fowler's the guy that Pricey says he sees the most, like in himself,
Is
in
that
him,
right?
right? Yeah. So he likes Fowler.
And then Sam Montembeault, he's got 1 more year left at 3.15.
Good problem to have.
Fowler's got 2 more year on his ELC. And Dobas is at 965 for next year. Like you're going to go into next year with 2 goalies that could be starters on half the teams at under $2 million. So I'm sure they're going to try to move Montembeault.
Why wouldn't you?
Maybe
make that team even better.
Maybe they'll take Jari for Montembeault.
Yeah, straight up.
When we come back, we'll wrap up the show. SKS brought in his Krispy Kreme fundraising donuts and a whole bunch of bats for the Duke for slow pitch tonight. Wow.
What a guy.
Yeah, what a guy. Yeah. These are from his kids' fundraising, these donuts?
From the baseball, I believe.
Baseball,
his kids' baseball team.
Wow.
How many dozen did you buy, Kev?
Just this 1 box. Wait, would you buy 2?
No, I bought 1. Connor bought 1.
I bought 1. Schlemmer bought 2.
Well, I got kids that are going to eat 1 box.
I'm not even.
Them too.
Schlemmer's keeping 1 box as in the passenger seat of his truck.
I'll open this box here if you guys want, whatever. When we come back, we'll wrap it up. Kevin Karius, David Schlimco, Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick on Sports 1440 AM radio. We're streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
Mr. Ruther gets attacked by a Canada goose.
Oh, look at that. Another on-time arrival. Nothing stops Mr. Ruther from plumbing on schedule. You gotta be kidding me. Hello, Mr. Goose. I'm Mr. Ruther. Okay, this is what you train for. Through rain, sleet, or goose, the pipes get fixed.
For a plumber who does whatever it takes, Mr. Ruther.
Got a car you're ready to part with? Find out what it's worth, fast, easy, and totally free at Go Auto. We're talking top dollar trade-ins, whether it's a little worn or still rocking that new car smell. Just a few clicks, and boom, you've got your value. Text value to 780-777-7777 to start. That's value to 780 all sevens. Why guess what it's worth? Let Go Auto show you the money.
Hey there, I'm in the Fountain Tire sidecar, making a list of the things I'm doing this spring. 1, saving you money with up to 20% off select tires until June 13th. 2, water skiing, tricky in a sidecar, but fun. And 3, saving you more money with mail-in rebates of up to $100 off a set of 4 select tires and $50 off a $150 service with the purchase of 4 select tires. Oh, that's 4 things. Oh well, restrictions apply. Book online at fountaintire.com. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
The longest running basketball show in Canada airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk, and it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Would you like to be a part of history for the month of April? I'm kidding. Or as the kids say, bro, I'm joking. Would you like to help us set a record in April? Chill. Still kidding. At Northgate, we aren't trying to set any records or tell you how many vehicles we sell, and we really don't think you'd care. But what you will care about is this. Every dealer has the same costs. Trust me, GM does not have a favorite kid. You get to decide where you buy. 0% financing, a great selection, and of course, great people. Stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or business online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
Build stamina and relieve fatigue with new Roots Herbals Energy, a well-balanced formula with D-ribose, astragalus, and ginseng. Find it at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of every month.
I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. The goal of every one of the thousands of hair restoration procedures I've performed is a full, natural-looking head of hair. I work directly with my patients for the consultation, the procedure, and the follow-up, so we can achieve the best results possible. When people see what we accomplish, I don't want them to think,
Wow, great hair transplant.
I want them to think,
Wow, great hair.
go to drvanceelliott.com and contact us today.
Have your sports curiosity cured with the Kevin Karius Show. This is Sports 1440.
Oh, yeah. Welcome back to the big program. 10:43 in Edmonton, home stretch. Kevin Karius, David Schlimco, Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick with you here on Sports 1440 AM radio. Schlemmer's powered by Cougar Paint and Collision. Check them out at cougarcollision.com. We were talking about, first little half hour, Schlemmer, we were in a break. We were talking about the Montreal Canadiens alumni. And of course, when we just had Stu Cowan on, you know, obviously the city's buzzing, but when you were playing there, maybe tell a couple stories, like, as you said, obviously all the French Canadian players that played there, they moved back there. It's their home.
It's unique in that way, right? I mean, I see a lot of the Oiler guys around town and stuff, but it's not even close to Montreal because, like, back in the day, most of them probably are French Canadians, so they all live in Quebec. I remember my first alumni event that involved the alumni. I could not believe how many of them there were down in the Habs room, like probably like at least a team worth.
Really?
20, 30 guys. And yeah, they're all still wearing their jerseys. They got all their rings on, some on both hands. They're still crushing beers with the boys. It's pretty cool.
Well, I couldn't imagine what that would be like to be, you know, an NHL alumni guy, but just even in Montreal, as you say, because of the rich history and for whatever reason, we don't have as many guys that stay or move or live here that played here. But as you said, and it's the French Canadian thing for sure.
That's the connection, right?
So, but did you, like, when you were playing there and you had whatever, like you said, an event or something, was there one or two players in particular you went, man, that's so-and-so, or, you know, that, like, I'm trying to think for defenseman for you.
I remember, especially because you mentioned him when we were talking about this, but Cornwall, he was always like one of the more vocal guys. And then for me, Guy Lafleur was pretty cool. That was like the one guy I had to get my picture with.
Is that right? Yeah. So, and did he probably had a cigarette hanging out of his mouth? So I think he might have quit though, Guy Lafleur. But there was a guy, right? You know, that he was always having a dart.
You like to hack the darts,
yeah. But you're right. That's one guy too. When I was growing up, you know, watching Hockey Night in Canada in the 70s, I mean, there's no helmets. And there was that certain, you know, you could identify with a player way more. And you saw the hair flying.
Yeah, that's flow.
Oh, man. And the other thing too, back in the day, we got Toronto or we got Montreal.
Yeah, true.
For the Hockey Night in Canada game. And then the other games weren't really on TV, you know, in the 70s. So it was a big deal.
Yeah.
To watch games like that. So Cornway, Lafleur. What about anyone on the back end for you? Like, I'm trying to think who would have been around there. Would guys like Big Bird show up? He was probably working. Larry Robinson. He's probably coaching still.
No, he wasn't around. It was mostly just the French guys, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good stuff. So tonight, and we had it in or out. So you're kind of thinking you're leaning towards Montreal, or are you leaning?
I'm leaning towards the Habs now. Yeah, Utah's out now, so that's my only former team left. So.
The one thing that Buffalo did not do, and did not perform at the level they need to moving forward, compared to the Boston series, is their power play. And I think they started 0 for 17 or something like that against Boston.
Is that right?
So, and then Dahlin scored, or no, he got an assist on the one goal that got things going. Or did he score? I can't remember. One of the two. Anyway, their power play, I think they only got 1 or 2 goals.
Okay.
So, like Montreal's power play going in this 19.2, Buffalo's 4.2. Penalty kill for Buff is good at 87.5. Montreal's 82. They were head-to-head in the regular season, 2-2. Slavkovsky's got 3 goals. Tuck's got 4 goals. I think, again, we're just looking at another close series.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. I do. I think the Habs are going to get the jump on them tonight, though.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Buffalo had the same kind of test that the Habs had in the first round.
That's a fair comment. Yeah. You got 2 of the best defensemen going that they're going to be top. Well, one could be top 3, one could be top 6 in Norris voting. Like Hudson's going to get some votes down there, but Rasmus Dahlin is a top 3-4 guy.
I mean, Buffalo's top 4. They're young, but they are good.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Bowen Byram in there and Samuelson as well. That's a young, very big, good top 4.
A lot of people thought that Bowen Byram was the best defenseman they had in the Boston series.
Really?
Yeah, just the way
I didn't catch as much as that series. I would have liked to. It's too early. It's just kind of on while you're making dinner and stuff. But
oh man! So what did you watch? Okay, so you watched all of the last night's game, the Minnesota, Colorado. Yeah,
yeah.
And
I'm trying to tape the Montreal one to watch it a little closer.
Yeah,
yeah.
And then tonight we've got Anaheim and Vegas game number 2.
That'll be a good one too.
With Minnesota, we're saying like the best thing that they got 3 days off here.
Just wild.
I know, not like they don't play till Saturday. It's not like it's Friday. It's they got Wednesday, Thursday, 3 full days off before they get going.
I don't know if I've ever seen that. Maybe in the Cup final or something.
3
second round.
3. What are you thinking, Duke?
I was just checking. They play Saturday, so yeah, you're right. They 2 full days between games. They played last night.
Yeah, so they got Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That's 3
right.
full days.
Yeah, no, you're right. Totally right.
3 full days. So, I mean, that's a long time between. Like sometimes when you get that extra day, everyone's going, "Oh, you got an extra." They're getting an extra 2 days,
right? So probably don't even skate today. Do some video.
Yeah,
rest the body up.
What did you think of Stu Cowan saying about Montreal staying in Tampa?
Oh, I thought that was the first thing I was thinking when he mentioned Jake Evans having young twin boys. Was I'm sure the wives loved that one. All these little kids at home.
Yeah, no kidding.
Just stay out on the road for 10 days.
Yeah. Well, but at least Coach said, man. Coach said.
Yeah.
I think the wives would be pretty understanding, though. But still.
Oh yeah.
But you're right. He gets an extra day, and then they have a practice.
I know my wife always said that. Anyways, was like. The hardest thing to deal with mentally is when you got a day off on the road because you only get 4 days off a month, and one of those days is on the road, and I'm just sitting in bed at the Ritz-Carlton all day ordering room service to rest up while she's at home dealing with the kids. It's it's a tough sell.
Well, that's what you sign up for, right, Schlimmer?
Exactly.
That's the way it goes. That's the way it goes. I was going to say too. Blue Jays baseball, Duke, coming up top of the hour. They got first pitch in Tampa Bay, so there's that.
Close to 500.
Well, they have the same record, Schlimmer, as they had at this point last year, 16-20.
It's a long year.
Yeah, and then they went on a roll. So I don't know. They got like McClanahan's on the hill for Tampa and Patrick Corbin for the Jays. I don't know. Corbin had a good start last time. But
what's with Lauer? Like, you liked Lauer in the starting rotation last year. He's been garbage.
He saved the Jays season last year at points. He's been really bad.
When do you take him out of the starting rotation?
Well, the problem is Barrios is supposed to come back, but he's been really bad too
in the minors?
On his rehab starts.
Oh, okay.
So, I watched Lauer pitch the other day, and he gave up a 3-run home run right off the bat. But after that, he was okay. But his ERA's through the roof, and oh man,
it's not great.
He was sick that one time, and I think they needed to get him to the locker room because I don't think he was holding it together on the hill.
Oh yeah,
so that's how sick he was. So
okay, we'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
The benefit of the doubt. Anything else, Schlimmer? What golf game, man? Oh boy,
I'll golf for a while, but another month or so.
Come on now. You look healed up. You look ready to go after the broken rib at the Alzheimer's.
No, man, I'm not good at all. That's just one of the worst injuries I've had. It takes a lot of patience. You can't really do anything.
Are you working on your putting though?
Oh, soon. It's too soon to go to the golf course. It'll be just too depressing.
Well, maybe you could come out on Friday to Leduc, and you could be kind of the marshal. You could manage the match.
Just follow you guys around in a cart and chirp. A little peanut gallery for you.
The thing is, like, you could get Eddie going so easily. Like, that's going to be one of our strategies, Duke, on Friday. Like, giving Eddie the business.
Getting in his head.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't take much to get in there. And then we got Elks training camp on Sunday.
Oh, that came fast.
Yeah, it did. Well, wait till next year. It'll be a month earlier. It'll be April.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because they're moving up the schedule even more so.
Interesting.
Duke, anything to add here as we wrap it up or what?
The Ducks will win tonight.
You say the Ducks are going to win tonight?
Yeah.
Really?
Sure.
Big game for them.
Why wouldn't they? I liked a lot of their game in game 2, and then kind of Schlimmer touched on it earlier, and we did yesterday or 2 days ago, whenever it would have been. Like, Vegas, just as games progress, and it was against Utah, it was kind of as the series progressed, they really showed their pedigree, right? Like the championship winning veteran presences. Like at times they looked so outgunned by Utah, but eventually just kind of found their groove, held them in check, took advantage of their opportunities, and that's really what they did against Anaheim in game 1 as well. Because you and I said it, Kevin, the Ducks seemed to carry most of the play. It was pretty even for the across 60 minutes, but the edge probably would have been in Anaheim's favor.
So as soon as it starts to tighten up in the third period and things get heavy, they get good.
Yeah.
So I likened, and Duke sort of agreed, I think, with me. I think game 1 between the Oilers and Ducks was similar to game 1 between the Ducks and Vegas.
100%.
So.
Yeah. Except I thought Anaheim was way better in the first period of game 1 against Vegas.
Yeah. The Oilers were dominating game 1, and that was their best period of the series.
Yeah.
That was the best period of their series.
All downhill from there.
And I mean, the Oilers scored a goal with 2 minutes left to win it. This goal, the game winner, was with 5 minutes left. So
yeah, and they did the same thing to Utah twice, maybe 3 times.
Have you ever passed up an opportunity like Jackson Lacombe did there in game number 1?
Well, the open net. That's tough. That's tough.
Like bug. And hey, and the icing call, that's icing, right?
That's icing, man. I don't
We said it was
I don't
icing
get
too.
that one. It's not even close.
Yeah. And I just, when you see the replay of Quenneville, the whole
Oh,
bench,
he was irate.
but with the back linesman, and so it's not his call. But they missed the goal. They didn't see the goal because they were just totally giving the linesman the business. So, oh man, good show, Schlimmer. We'll see you back next Wednesday.
You bet.
All
Have
right.
a good one.
Our co-host for Cougar Paint and Collision, David Schlimco. Coming up, top of the hour, it is Fantasy Frenzy with
the former Rochep T-Bird.
Connor Halley and the Duke of Delburne. 12 o'clock, it's the Lowdown with Alan Mitchell. 2 till 6, Jason Greger drives us home. We've got Fox Sports all night long. We're back with you tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Ladislav Schmid will return to the Sports 1440 studios after a 6-week hiatus where he was coaching the under-18 team at the World Under-18 Championship over in Slovakia. Before all that, time now for a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Fusion Promo Marketing. Expand your brand, high-quality promotional products for businesses, sports teams, and corporate events. Get noticed at fusionpromomarketing.ca. That's Fusion with a Z. Hey, thanks everyone for listening this morning. Really appreciate it. Thanks for all the great texts and all the interaction. Could not do it without you. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock. Until then, here is the Duke.
Sports 1440 update.
Pair of games in the Stanley Cup playoffs tonight. The Montreal Canadiens and Buffalo Sabres get their series underway from Western New York. First puck drop, just after 5 o'clock. Second half of the slate, Anaheim and Vegas go at it for game number 2. The Golden Knights with a 1-0 series lead. Puck drop there just after 7:30. Off the ice, league announcing its finalists for this year's Selke Trophy. His league's top defensive forward, Anthony Cirelli, out of Tampa Bay, a finalist for the second time in his career, and first-time finalist, Colorado's Brock Nelson, and Montreal's Nick Suzuki. Earlier this morning, confirmed officially, PWHL expanding once again, this time heading to Detroit to add its 9th franchise. Going to join the league for play next season. Detroit also going to be hosting the draft and award ceremony later this summer. In the association tonight, Sixers and Knicks tip off game 2 from Madison Square Garden at 5 o'clock. Knicks with a 1-0 series lead. And San Antonio will try and draw even as they trail the Timberwolves 1-0. That one underway from Texas at 7:30. In the majors today, a full slate of games, including the Blue Jays, set to get underway here just after the top of the hour finale. They're set in Tampa Bay against the Rays at the Trop. Patrick Corbin on the bump for Toronto. Shane McClanahan countering for Tampa. Elsewhere, Dodgers are in Houston. Red Sox up against the Tigers. The Mariners host the Braves. Orioles play the Marlins. Cubbies hosting the Reds. And the Yankees take on the Rangers from the Bronx. Coming up on Sports 1440, it is Fantasy Frenzy with Hallie